Okay. As always, we're live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Mommas with Commas. We are so excited to be here. We have two amazing special guests. Nico is in the house looking just as beautiful as ever. You look so pretty. Everybody looks so gorgeous. Thank y'all
Yes.
so much for being on with us. We're going to just wait a few minutes and let everybody come in. Welcome. Tonight, we would like to ask for you guys to please engage in our conversation via the comments. We have a very important conversation tonight. We're going to talk about mental health and healing. So we want, as much feedback as possible from you guys. Any questions? If you want to share personal stories, just please, engage with us and feel free to be a part of the conversation. Um, Nico, hey,
Hey, hey.
how are
It's
you
been,
doing?
I'm hanging in there. It's been a crazy 2 weeks, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
But other than that, I'm blessed. I'm alive. I'm
Yes.
breathing. No one's sick. We're all good over here. So
Yes.
I can't complain. But how are you guys doing? We were just talking about a little tropical storm had come up that way. I saw there was some flooding and stuff. You guys doing all right?
Yeah, we're doing good. It wasn't much of anything, thank God. The kids were out of school today. But it didn't in my area, it didn't really amount to much at all. So thank goodness. My life has been pretty hectic this past 2 weeks. I did lose my cousin. She passed away younger than me, so I want to dedicate this show actually to my family. That was just like a shock and a huge tragedy for us.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of our family gathered in Richmond, Virginia to honor her life. And yeah, other than that, just going through, the motions. I know that we took a little pause for the cause for a week to allow for the election to take place and for everybody to just focus on voting. That's been a big topic of our conversation for the past, seems like year, but I know for the past 6 months, just trying to encourage people to go and vote. And it looks like we pulled through. Hopefully this man won't try any crazy stunts
He's
here and
trying.
he'll just concede and go on about his merry way so that we can keep moving forward. It's still a lot of work to be done. My favorite saying is change happens at the local level. So even
Yep.
though we've been able to elect, a president as our leader, we still need to make sure that we're doing what we're supposed to be doing within our communities
Most
and
definitely.
build our way up there so that we can have a good future for our kids and so on. But let's introduce our guests. I am so excited to have these two ladies on tonight. We have Latoya Mathews joining us, and we also have my cousin, Quita Bouldin.
Hello.
I'm going to give them the floor and let them introduce themselves. Latoya, if you want to go first.
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Latoya, and I am an inner healing coach, a transformational speaker, an author. I am the founder of a retreat called Woman, You Are Free. And it's a 2-day transformational retreat, and as well as a mother and a wife and a sister, but just all those things. But overall, I'm just Latoya, someone who loves to laugh, Netflix and chill, and just relax.
Yes. You have some social platforms.
Yes.
So can you tell us about your website?
Yes. So on my website, I have a 6-week program that's located on my website, but it's going to change next year because I'm a big believer in numbers. So it's going to an 8-week program because 8 is the symbol of new beginnings. And so with the work that I do believe that I'm helping women get, a new beginning in life and in what they do and how they journey through life on their healing. And so with that website, I have a 31-day devotional that I wrote called Discovery, as well as some t-shirts, a t-shirt that I made up. It kind of came to me while I was in the car that says, healing is my love language. And so, we all have love languages, but healing just happens to be my love language, just working on those parts that I know is going to make me a better mom, a better wife, a better friend, and, a better person in general. So.
Absolutely.
Yes.
You kind of shocked me when you mentioned the number 8.
Yeah.
I've been building on the number 8. My number has always been 7. Don't play with me. That's my number. But for some reason, going into 2021, I'm manifesting, around the number 8.
Yeah.
8 is also build, destroy. So building the positive to destroy all negative. So I'm just like, that's where we going. I'm getting chills because I'm like, that's where we going. I was going to post build, destroy. So I'm gonna go ahead and follow through with that little message, so that we can absolutely destroy the negative, build in the positive, and start those new beginnings as we move into next year. So thank you so much, Quita. Hey, girl, tell us about you, darling.
Hello, I'm Quita Bouldin. I am from Kenosha, Wisconsin. Yes, Kenosha. And I'm a production coordinator. So I work for a global company that did not shut down none of the pandemic. We was essential workers, and we still essential workers. So I'm really a spiritual person and a natural person. So I really had to keep my immune system up. But it does take a toll on you.
Mm-hmm.
And there being in the public when you don't know who has what they're doing. So, that's very stressful. It has been a very stressful time. So,
Yes.
mental health and stress is part of mental health. That kicked in real quick.
Yeah.
Panic. And
Absolutely.
your emotion, your well-being, your self-care, self-love. And I didn't feel none of that, and I still had to go to work, and I'm still going to work.
Yeah.
I'm double protecting myself.
Yeah.
My drink of choice today, because I love ginger and elderberry, this is it.
Yes.
So
That's what you do.
Yes.
So I wanted to talk. That's why I reached out to my cousin. I wanted to talk about mental and all the aspects of it and what triggers it.
Yeah.
I know people walk around every day and it's like a functioning mental health, and it's not good. So hopefully a lot will come out of this tonight.
Yes.
Yes.
Absolutely. And I'm gonna just jump in before I toss it to Nicola. We've noticed and we know that you've been an essential worker and you've been working, every day going to work. And it was so scary at one point because I think we was just like, can we even go outside? And you was just, posting, which is an outlet, and it is, a form of being able to cope with what you're going through. And we've been there, sending hearts, but we are not there. We're not in your shoes. And I'm just thankful that you have been tuning in. This has been an outlet for us, a way for us to stay connected during this time. I know we sent you a special package of love, just to let you know that we.
So much,
Yes.
so much to me. If y'all could have seen my tears at it, I was like, oh man, people do think, people do care, and it, sometimes I just post to let people know that, essential workers are human.
Yeah.
We go through a lot. We don't know who we coming across.
Yep.
But we out there. And my job said, no, y'all not staying home.
You got to come in.
They was dropping off, and we just had 2 more cases.
Well, I know you're very healthy. I know that's your lifestyle, and we'll definitely get into that as we talk more about, the healing side and what we can do to cope, as we're living day to day. But let's
Yes.
bounce back to Miss Latoya and dig in a little bit more into your program. Now you call the program Beauty for Ashes.
Yes.
Where did you come up with that name?
Well, I was actually in the shower. It seems like everything just comes in the shower, right? And so I was like needing just something at that moment to really put into place, because I wasn't looking for clients. I was just looking to just share my story. But women started reaching out and was just like, can you help me? And I had to quickly come up with something. And he brought me to that scripture, Isaiah 61, where he says he'll give us beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, and the garment of praise for any heaviness. And I knew that it resonated because we've all endured ashes in our lives, and we think that those ashes are the end, but it's actually, there is a flower called the fireweed. And when you burn the entire side of the mountain, this beautiful purple flower grows in the ashes. And it's just like our lives. It seems like we've gone through the fire, but God is just like, I have something beautiful on the other side of that. And so it made sense for the time being. No one knows this, but now I get to reveal it. But next year, when I start the program again, it's going to be called the Free Woman, because that was something that after the women worked with me, that was one of the main words that they said, that they feel free.
Mm-hmm.
And so within that program, I just provide a roadmap just to help women on their healing journey, because I know that it's not a quick fix. Mm-hmm. It is a marathon and not a sprint. Mm-hmm. And so we go through what I call the 4 pillars of healing right now, which is peacemaking, releasing the burden of the past, pattern breaking, recognizing and acknowledging those bad habits that have been holding you back, permission to dream, envisioning the life that you desire, while healing, because you can live your life and heal at the same time. They're not two separate things. Mm-hmm. And so most people put everything on hold because it's like, well, I got to heal first before I can write this book. But, you can do it simultaneously.
Absolutely.
And the 4th one is the power of habits. And that's creating habits that support the life that you have envisioned for yourself. And so those 4 things are what I believe to be and have helped me on my healing journey, really coming face to face with my past, because, we try to outwork it. We try to run from it, and we try to bury it. But in order for you, we're not going over it, because when you go over something, it's still there. But when you go through it, like you said, we're demolishing that. We're bringing down the walls and everything that held you back. And so, within that, so many people just have came to a standstill. And I just really believe that the program brings them to a place of where it's like, I no longer can run from the things that I've tried to bury or hide.
Mm-hmm.
I love that.
I love that too. Yeah, because certain things, just to go back, like what you just said, for me, the past has held me back. And what you said is perfect. I was at a standstill. Okay, for 2 years, I was at a standstill. I didn't know it. Because of, as a mom as well, when you say women, we are the backbone. I don't care what anybody says, we're the backbone, and we carry everything on our shoulders.
Yeah.
There may be days where we want to break down, but we can't, because we have kids we got to continue to push forward. We may have, other, like our parents that we're looking after. It could be a lot of different things. And we just don't have the time to sit down and work through it. So for me, yes, I went over it. Like I went over it, and I thought I was dealing with it, and I was suppressing it. So then when I finally came to a boiling point where I just had a breaking point, people were looking at me like, what's wrong with her? What's wrong with her? Why is she acting this way?
Right.
What's happening? Oh my God. And to the point where it's like, no one talked about what got me to that point.
That's the thing that I have. And that's like the first 2 weeks are like the very hardest of the weeks for the women, because it's like you said, you're coming face to face with that thing. And one thing that I've realized is that the things that we carry, we don't know how heavy they are because they become a part of our everyday lives. And those heavy things, we don't know what it feels like to be free of those things.
Right.
Yep.
We don't realize the relationships that we're missing out on, the opportunities that we're missing out on, because we've learned to just carry those things, not realizing how heavy they are. And as parents, we carry that child on our side, but it comes to a point where that child gets heavy. Start taking a toll on your body because it becomes heavy. But as women, like you said, because we're strong and we have to be that way, we don't know how heavy it is, and we don't know what life looks like on the other side of freedom, what life looks like on the other side of healing, what life looks like, once I face those things.
Right. You're hitting everything on point for me. I mean, for me, like, to even talk about depression, all of that stuff, that's unheard of in certain cultures, right? It's more like, oh, girl, you'll get over it. Oh, girl, go and buy you a pair of shoes, or girl, go watch a movie, or girl, go find you a man. Or it's always something to substitute going through and working through your issue. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's something that we need to discuss. We need to talk more about what exercises or what things we can do to overcome those challenges, period. They never go away. And that goes back to what you said, breaking the chain, right? Because then the history repeats itself. Then our children carry that burden. And it never changes.
The first I guess part that you touch on, peacemaking. I know we don't have enough time in this chat to really break down and go through, but it was two of them that actually all of them was speaking to me when I was reading it. But peacemaking, Nico and I was talking about this the other day. When you are going through that initial step and you're trying to find peace with certain things, when your issues or your concerns involve other people, you know what I'm saying? It's not like, you ran into a deer and you feel awful and the deer done died and it's something you got to come to find peace with, but it's actually, a mother or a child or an ex-husband. Or how do you begin making the peace? Is it more like an inner thing? Do you find a way to communicate with that other person? What truly, everybody's different. What would you suggest in that area just to kind of help?
And so what I would recommend, because it is, and that's why I do the inner healing work, because, it starts from the inside out. And the one thing that I had to come to realization was that even though my mom may have been a part of, some things in my life, right? I had to come to a realization that I can't take responsibility for her actions, right? I can only take responsibility for what I can do. I can reach out, and if you're not accepting to that fact, then I have to just let that be, to know that, hey, I have work to do. I can't be responsible for their actions and be responsible for me as well. And one of the things that I have the women to do in the program is that the people that have, made an impact to where they got to at this point in their lives, they have to write what we call a confessions of the heart letter. And in those confessions of the heart letter, they write out everything that's on their heart. And I tell them, don't miss a beat, don't think about it, be real, be raw, express yourself in that letter. Read the letter, process it, and then burn it, because burning it is a symbol of, letting it go, letting things be. And one thing that I've heard that really stuck out to me is that I have to be okay with letting things be better. So even though I've had these things happen to me, I have to realize that it's not permanent. Everything has its season.
Yep.
I'm just
Reason, season, lifetime.
right.
Mhm.
Right.
I'm just in a
Mhm.
season where it's heavy right now and I have to do this work, but I know that once winter passed, summer is coming.
Right.
You know, and so, you know, just really writing those things out. And that's why I firmly believe in journaling, because the one thing about your thoughts is that they don't have anywhere to run.
Mm-hmm.
There's no
Yep.
place for them to go. You know, they have to come out somewhere, because the one thing that I have learned just a little bit about my story is that when I started my healing journey, when I was 18, I found myself, you know, hearing the 3 words that I never thought that I would hear as an 18-year-old, that, you know, you were pregnant.
Yep.
And so I had scholarships that, you know, for tennis and basketball. I didn't feel like I had a good relationship with my mom, and I didn't feel like the environment was conducive to bring up a child. So I told myself this is the best decision. And I found myself at the abortion clinic walking in and having an abortion. And so within that, after I had the abortion, I went school shopping because I was getting ready for college. And looking back at it, I'm like, that was the craziest thing to do.
Wow.
But for me at that moment, it was the best thing for me to do. So I didn't have to think about it.
Right.
And so I went school shopping. But when I went home that night, my whole world just like crumbled. And I was just like, what did I just do? And like I prayed every single day for like 7 years, asking God for forgiveness. And it wasn't until I read this book called The True Measure of a Woman by Lisa Bevere, and she asked 2 questions that I know was like the beginning of my healing journey. And the 2 questions was, what is it in your closet that you need to clean out? And I knew that it was that moment that I needed to clean out, you know, that same piece of abortion that I had in there. And the second part of it was, what do you have to offer to other people? And because of what I had done, I was crying because I was like, I don't have anything to offer. I felt helpless. I felt hopeless. I felt just like unworthy, you know, and it made me just realize that I was in a broken place where I didn't feel like I had nothing, like I was worthless. But the part that I wanted to touch on, because dealing with peacemaking, was that there was this pain that I had in my stomach, and it was like a sharp pain that would hit in my pelvic area. And it was almost kind of a reminder of what I had done. Like it would hit all the time, like, you know, almost kind of like, this is what you get for doing, you know, what you did. But when we went to the women's meeting, and I was embarrassed because I was like, I don't even want to share this. And my pastor called on me, and, you know, and I told her the situation. And the first thing that she told me was, God forgave you the very first time you prayed.
Oh.
And in hearing that, I broke down. And in that moment, I received it, the forgiveness piece. And when I received my forgiveness, the pain went away.
Wow.
And so in peacemaking, when we deal with things, it shows up in our bodies in different ways. When, you know, forgiveness is a gift. And I've never seen anybody that received a birthday gift or a Christmas gift and just left it under the tree.
Yeah.
The only way you can receive it is if you open it and know what's on the inside, right? And so I had to receive that forgiveness. And in receiving forgiveness at that time, it set me free from the pain that I had, you know, was holding against myself, and thinking that this was my punishment for what I had done.
So many years, probably. I don't know for sure, but I can imagine that it's so many years, you know, that it's so many months, it's so many hours that you're tormenting yourself and almost torturing yourself mentally. You know, the capacity of who you could have been, and it's crazy because it took a third person. It took that angel person to come and deliver that message to you, and then you were like, okay, you received it and you were able to break free of that chain. And I've been in a lot of situations where that angel person, you know, they show up, you're not expecting them, and they speak that message to you, and you're like, okay, Thank you,
And
God.
that's the thing about peacemaking is that you have to have that safe space.
Yeah.
When that safe, loving space is provided, you can get the healing, the breakthrough, what you needed at that moment. Like you said, when the angel person comes, the environment was already made to be able to receive it.
Right. Right.
Yeah. That's deep. That's deep. Y'all show her some love. Come on, where the hearts at? Let's throw some hearts up here. This is amazing. Thank you so much. Yeah, I know a lot of people, including myself, that we battle with that peacemaking because it's just like, okay, how do I do this type deal? So thank you for breaking that down for us. The other one that I really, really liked was permission to dream, and I kind of put that in the coping / coming out. That's where I kind of live in that permission to dream space, just being a creative person. And I think people are probably like, dang, what's she doing now? Is she painting? Is she making essential oils? Is she doing Mommas with Commas? And, but that's a coping skill for me. I don't smoke. I don't drink. I don't have like these things that I do, but I create constantly things. I love it. I'm artistic and love it. So I really loved the permission to dream, and I like to add and celebrate on there, because you got to remember to celebrate yourself and the things that you are accomplishing along the way while you're in your healing journey.
And you don't feel. I think another thing too is when you say allow to dream, don't allow outside influences to take away from your dream.
And that's exactly what we talk about.
Because I've had that happen to me. I've had that where, just like Toya said, girl, how many things you gonna do? How about you just narrow it down and then work your way? Or you're gonna do this and that, and oh my gosh, like you have a staffing company and you want to do real estate, like pick a field. Why I gotta pick a field? Like, I like all those things, and I'm gonna do all of them, and I'm gonna be successful. But then I had to learn that as long as I have peace within myself, I don't need to share that with anyone else, because I don't need your permission to do these things.
Exactly.
I'm going to do it because I give myself permission. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a while, though. It took me a while to get to that space. Because for me, I had a lot of security blankets, family, close friends, and I had to let a lot of that go. And that was very hard for me, very hard, because I was raised that everything, that's loyalty. And if you let that go, you're not being loyal.
Right.
And I had to work through that. And let me tell you something. When you find peace within yourself, you have a different type of glow.
Come on now.
Now, your body, like when you said the pain in your body, people don't realize, like, I broke out everywhere. Like everywhere, all over my body, where I couldn't even put clothes on. I, like, literally have to be like this. And I didn't, and the doctors couldn't understand how it happened.
What's going on?
Nothing. But as time went on, I took myself out of that space. I let go of certain things, and it was painful because there was some people that that tight, But when I took myself out of that environment and had peace within myself and loved myself, it was a wonderful. I can't even explain the feeling. Like you have to go through it yourself to understand the reward and the feeling. And the creative mind, like all of these things started to flourish. I have a relationship now that I didn't have. All kinds of things. So, and it's good to be able to talk these things out, because I'm a very private person. So the fact that I'm even saying this on live is like, is a breakthrough.
It's a breakthrough, girl. You're in a safe space.
Yes.
You're in a safe space. You're talking to some amazing people right now. And I got to watch it firsthand. And, I've gone through something very similar. I can completely relate with both of you guys that pain, and it can manifest in the body, and it can be, the only word I can think of is torment. It's tormenting, it's absolutely unnecessary. If we can just find a way to kind of break through. I want to jump in. Conquita, when I spoke with you before, when we were talking about the chat, I'm just going to jump subjects real quick, but I know we're going to hang because we're all mothers.
Yeah.
You spoke about being an empty nester mommy. Your kitties are gone, they're grown, and how it's affecting you. Can you share with us, the toll that's taken? A lot of people don't realize, I mean, you hear about it, but it really takes a toll, and I'm starting to enter that phase. So can you share with us?
Yes. Okay. For me, my kids are grown. Then I had the opportunity to have two of my grandsons, which it just brightened me back up because they left. But even though we stayed connected, but when my oldest grandson graduated and went off to college, not the first year, but the second year, I sat in this space. This space right here is my common space. I'm always right here for a few hours. But I sat here and I just bawled. I didn't know why I was crying. Not, like I said, not the first year because I took him off to college. But when he left for that second year, it just dawned on me. Wow. And like I said, this was my grandson. And he calls me. He do more calling than the kids, but he do call.
Mm-hmm.
You okay? Whatever. But I bawled.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
it's the feeling. You have to stay connected. You have to communicate in order to endure that pain that you're gonna have. And you never thought you would have it that second time around.
Right,
Mm-hmm.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first time when my kids eventually left, I was like, "Oh, it's time to party."
Yeah,
But I didn't want to party, but it was time to party. And I've always been with my kids, so that wasn't the issue. But when he left that second time, it was like my whole world just feel like it just crashed. And
oh,
like I tell people, what you have to do in that moment of when they finally leave, you have to make goals, make plans.
yeah,
But since COVID, you can't
yeah,
make those plans.
Right.
right. Those
And,
trips, those little vacations,
and you
you
can't
know.
do that. And even if
Mhm.
you wanted to, that's another stumbling block. Like I said,
Mm-hmm.
I try to stay happy, I try to stay positive and all that, but it does take a toll. Like I said, I cried and I didn't even know why I was crying.
Right.
I was
A piece
bald.
of your
I
heart.
was right in this little space. And
Right.
then so happened he FaceTimed me and he was like,
Mhm.
"What's wrong?" I was like, "I don't know."
Oh.
Mm,
But I missed him so
yeah.
much.
Mm-hmm.
I so much. I just needed to just see him. I just
Right.
needed to him.
Mm-hmm.
But it was very hard. And like I said, especially now since COVID, we can't do what we used to do. We can't do anything. So
Mm-hmm.
I be trying to tell people you can't be, you know, it's okay to say you're not okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It's
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. Like for me, I tell people you gotta inspect what you expect.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't,
I
your
like
life
that.
will crumble, before your eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And I stay active. I do certain things, but then
Mhm.
there's things missing.
Mhm.
I wake up every morning. I have to push myself to get up to go to work. Not that I
Mhm.
don't have my job, because what's going on out there
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
today, that's another trigger.
Yeah.
That's another anxiety attack that I
Yeah.
shouldn't be having. You shouldn't
Right.
have to worry about getting up, going to work, that you might get sick.
Yeah.
Right.
But it does. It takes me about 10, 15 minutes to actually say, okay, it's time to get up. because I have to prep myself.
Right.
And I've been doing it every day since this pandemic. It wasn't like that last year. It wasn't like that. You get up, get dressed, and go. Now you just can't do it.
Right.
I make sure I got my Corona bag with everything that I need in it. I'm an essential worker. So when I pull out all my stuff that I'm finna wipe and spray, they be like, why are you doing all that? Various reasons. Because if I have a panic attack or anxiety to what's going on around me, I'm not going to be able to function. And I have to function.
Right.
That's why I inspect what I expect. Now,
I like that.
I've been doing that since, and like I said, everybody don't know. And then when COVID started, then we had a riot in Kenosha. They literally burnt us to, we look like a war-torn country.
Wow.
It was one thing after the next.
Look, and that ain't even a half of it. And I got displaced out of my home because of mold and water damage. So I still been in temporary housing since February. It's COVID. That's another anxiety because then you got all your stuff boxed up. I'm like, I gotta worry about this. I gotta do this. I have to start over. I might as well just had started over because this didn't know better. It didn't. Like people think when this taboo subject of mental health, oh, that's a crazy person. No, I was out there every day coping. And feeling. They are functioning.
Right.
Mental health walking.
Right.
And mental health is real.
And that's what happened to me because both my husband and I are essential workers as well. And we have a daughter as well. Oh no, she went out.
She'll be back. She'll be back.
But that's what happened to me. Like school ended and I'm thankful that my daughter was mature enough because she had to be at home for certain hours by herself while me and her dad was at work. And I found myself, I had started crying. I was like, I don't know what I'm crying for. But it was different. And finally my manager was like, look, you need to take some time off. Like just go be at home, with her because it was new.
Right.
Yeah.
So it was like, and I talked to a friend, she was like, you're just grieving, grieving old, something old that, you've been encountered with something new now. So you're grieving the process that you had before and it's all new. So, having to show up to work every day, like Conquetta said, hoping that people would just stay at home. Like you can make a deposit by phone now. So just make the deposit by phone. Why you coming to the bank? Like just do all the, technical things to get it done. But it was taking a toll and I just had to take some time and, just be in that. And, like you said, not let people police how I feel because you don't know how I feel. So stop trying to tell me how I feel.
Right. Or stop trying to deflect, and try to put you in a position with, with how they feel. Like, no, stop, and it's like, why? I think it's a control issue that for people have that they just like to control every part of everything, your emotions, your actions, all of those things, which, I feel like that's another type of mental illness to me, a control, because if you don't have it, then you there's something wrong. Like, so,
always trying to push their stuff on you.
Yes. And another aspect of it, we posted you okay? We posted that on our Instagram. You okay?
Mhm.
People will ask you that, but they ain't really ready to really
I
sit
ain't trying to hear
and
your
really
answer.
listen. You know, I mean, you might get out 2 sentences and they're like, why don't you just do it? And you like, well, wait a minute, I ain't tell you the 17 other things I got going on. Like, you ask me, am I okay? I'm gonna tell you
Exactly.
what I got going on. So it's deep, you know, and to kind of go back to what you were saying, Conquita, you touched on a lot of different emotions.
Mhm.
I think that abandonment, you know, was a little bit of one. Loneliness, a little bit of one. But
Mhm.
we mentioned grief, even though it's not in the form of death, but you know, just our routine dying, and then even extending to folks that's actually dealing with grief, the loss of, you know, people who were the light of their life, you know, their mother or their father or their brother, sister, their children. Miss Latoya, how do we begin, just begin to heal from abandonment and grief, that hole in the heart?
Well,
Yes.
the one thing that I would probably say is that get rid of the rule book. You know, we have a rule book for everything and how things should be. But Malik Teal, she said, create your own life curriculum. You know,
Mm.
you and what I had to do was, you know, before I heard that quote, I had already made up in my mind that I have to release myself from other people's checklists. Just
Mhm.
because you're doing it doesn't mean that it's going to work for me. And
Right.
so now I have to have my own playbook of, because my day doesn't look like yours. So I can't probably do something at 10 o'clock in the morning where you can. And so you have to have different strategies in place and test them out to see how it works out for you, right? And
Yeah.
so that abandonment issue, one of the things that I would recommend, one of the things that I've done with my daughter, and that, you know, we could do it for ourselves and do it with our children as well, is I've created what we call a daughter date night. So on Wednesdays at 8:30, it's just me and her. And I let her choose what she wants to do. Because what that does is that brings us to a place of where we're present with each other
Okay.
Mhm.
and just making sure that we're having that connection time.
Mhm.
Because being a small business owner, being a 9-to-5 worker, being a wife, I want to make sure that I'm intentionally not leaving her in a place of feeling abandoned either, as well as my husband. So we have to schedule out these things, even though we may not be able to go to a restaurant. I'm going to dress up in something really nice, cook myself something nice, and let us have a nice dinner together. So filling that place of abandonment is creating, you know, date nights, you know, Conquetta, with your grandson, just having that time where you connect with each other. But also, one of the greatest things is that what COVID has taught us, and what I always tell women, is that, you know, if you can't be by yourself, no one else is going to want to be with you either. So
Right.
this is a moment to really get to know who you are in this moment. You know, schedule that time where you run a bath and just relax and do nothing.
Yes. I do that real well now.
You know,
Yeah.
I
Yeah, both of you
a lot.
mentioned being flexible and being creative, and I love how you said get rid of that rule book, because we all have that play by play, whether it was taught or forced on us, or we learned it through movie or song or watching, you know, somebody. It's just saying, okay, and like that bath, it's sometimes I'm like, especially during COVID, I'm like, I know it's 11 a.m. It's the middle of the day, but I'm gonna go make me a lavender bath, and I'm going to get that. To, you know, I'm like just
you got
making
to
up
do what
stuff,
works
just
for
trying to
you.
feel better. Yes,
Hallelujah.
just trying to feel better, just being creative, and that's why I like, you know, the network of women and men that we have, and how we can kind of tune in to social media, these Zoom meetings, you know, Mamas with Commas, and get ideas, fun ideas that would work for us, to help us get through,
Yeah.
you
And I
know,
think
these
this is
feelings.
the best thing right here is having that support group, because, you know, I'm married, so I can't go to a single friend with married problems. Like, you would understand. It's just like a person who has a child with mental health illnesses can't talk to a person who doesn't have a child with mental health, issues. So it's finding that support group who understands, and not only understands, but can also be able to pour into you and encourage you and understand the very place of where you're coming from.
And that's a good point right there, because I think what happens, a lot of us, we feel that we can go to certain people who've never been in those shoes.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just something that, I guess it's a comfort thing, because like, I know for me, for example, I'm very private. So I tend to go to the ones that know me the best, I feel. Even though they may not have the same situation, or they may not have a kid that has them same issues, but for me, I trust that person that I know when I'm communicating, it's not going to go further.
Right.
Because that's a bigger thing. That's a big thing for me, because I have had instances where things were being done to me in front of my children by another adult. And it was just mind-boggling, because why would you wouldn't want to do that, So I guess that's kind of something that I had to deal with. So when you say that, it is true, though, because I guess, they don't really understand the whole dynamic, and that goes to one of the questions we have about, what are some of the things, if you have children who are going through these type of issues, because I know, like, adults, we kind of talk about these things, but for children, like, especially during this COVID situation, I know, like, my daughter, I mean, she hadn't been around her friends. And one of the things that we did do, one of her good friends lives in our neighborhood, and, her mother and I are friends. So we were setting up play dates, just so they can have that outlet. But it was hard. It was hard for them to deal with everything on top of trying to learn something in school, or, virtually, and then, not knowing what's going to take place. So, things were canceled, like her birthday. She didn't really get to do what she wanted to do for her birthday, like all of these things. And so how can you deal with, those type of things as a parent? Because of course we're going through our stuff too. So we want to try to be as compassionate as possible. So, and then for those children who are maybe a little bit more extreme, with certain issues, as parents, we're having to step up, because now we can't really use certain resources that we could use before.
Right.
So, like, what are some outlets? Because I know some moms out there like, please help me.
Well, I have a daughter who's very extrovert. So when school got shut down, girl, we had her annual appointment, and she told the doctor that she was depressed, and the doctor the pediatrician was like, I think you're just sad.
Yeah.
She was just sad because she couldn't be around her friends. But one of the things that we did was, you're able to have watch parties on Netflix. And so we got her and her friends together. They watched Princess and the Frog on Netflix. And so we had the popcorn, we had the treats, and they were all, because you can talk, chat and everything through Netflix. And so we scheduled nights for them to have, like, these Netflix nights for them to watch movies that they like, so that they're still communicating, and it keeps them busy, as well. And then the one thing that I would say is, make sure that you're taking care of yourself first. Yeah. And then tend to, them. Because the one thing that we have to make sure that we do is utilize our time, well. So when the children are asleep, take that bath, sip that wine, do whatever it is so that you can take care of you, because we have to be the role model to show, hey, I'm showing you how I'm taking care of myself, so that you can model the same thing.
Right. Yeah.
And so having those Netflix nights where they just sit around and have fun and just watching, the movie, because it wears them out at the end. My daughter goes straight to sleep. And also, like I said, just scheduling those nights where you're letting them be creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
as growing up, my mom had game nights for us on like every Thursday. So we had like Monopoly, Chutes and Ladders and Candyland and things like that. So just scheduling nights where outside of the dinner table where you just, communicating. And Quetta said it, previously, communication is key, including them in, especially my daughter, we do affirmations. So including them in the things that you do, because it makes them feel included as well.
Absolutely. We have, Nico and I have college kids, our girls.
Okay.
They're in their last and I think third year, whatever, of college. And we had to get very creative, keeping them, afloat. I think, just first communication, goal setting, just walking them through things that, we were dealing with our job situations. My job, I was traveling back and forth to New York. So I would live in New York for 2 weeks, and then I lived in Florida for 2 weeks, and then abruptly stopped in March. March 5th was my last day. So I was dealing with that. But then my daughter was also dealing with her job, abruptly ending. And I had to kind of, like you said, get myself together and then kind of walk her through. So it's just been like a tandem experience when you have a younger, walking your young adult through 2020.
And I think you said it before, but it's just allowing them to express themselves and tell them, letting them know that it's a safe space for them to express how they truly feel. Because I read somewhere today, someone made a quote that says, when someone asks you, how you're doing and you're being nice about it and you're like, I'm okay, it's another form of lying.
Right.
Yep.
So it's okay to let me know that you're not having a good day. I completely understand, and letting them know that this is a safe space for you. It's okay for you to just bawl because things are unclear, uncertain, and so communicating that, and like you said, providing that shoulder for them, whether it's on FaceTime or at home, but just providing that shoulder for them to lean on.
Absolutely.
Most definitely. And I think all of us, like Toya says, parents, when you have, I keep saying young adults because they're becoming adults. We're teaching them adulthood. But it was tough. Like Toya said, it was tough because, they were in college, then they're not. I have my son, I have 3 children. My middle son is 19. So he was playing football and that got stopped.
Yeah.
And then his life is football.
Yeah.
So for me as a parent, I'm not going to lie, I panicked because I said, okay, what I need to keep them motivated. I got to keep them going because I don't want their dream or their vision to shift, right? Because it's no longer happening right now.
Yeah.
So to them, it's like, okay, let me take the easy way out. Let me go ahead and get this job.
Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and it's like, no.
Fight.
Hold on.
We're gonna fight.
We're gonna make this work. Hold on.
Exactly. Keep pushing. This is only for a moment.
Yeah. Absolutely.
I mean, when you become an adult, life happens, and
life
you just have to learn how to keep pushing and have that perseverance to know that it's gonna work out. It may not look like it now, but it's gonna work out.
Yep.
Perseverance is so huge. Vision boards, perseverance, goal setting, holding yourself accountable, having an accountability partner.
Yes.
It's just so vital to life and being successful, just making it through. We've touched on a lot of different activities that we can do to kind of help with our mental issues, or even just, if we don't call them mental issues, mental,
awareness
interruptions. I know my daughter, she works out, that's been her go-to, her baby during the pandemic. And I'm so impressed by her. She has gone to the park, they had the signs up like, don't enter. She's like, I'm just going to go over here and put my camera and I'm going to do my squats. And, and she films it so that she can, look back and be inspired. We talked about our baths and our wine and talking to having our safe friends. But what are some other things? What are some other activities that you ladies do, personally when you're dealing with these mental spasms?
I think a lot of people, I like to color.
Yeah. Yeah. I had a friend that said they got a coloring book. I was like, you got crayons? He was like, no, I do it on my iPad. I was like, oh.
No, see, I gotta have the book. I don't do the iPad, the app stuff. Like I need my color pencils and a book in hand. Like I need to be very creative with this.
Yes. Quita, what's some of your go-to activity?
For me, since I am a creative person and I like doing stuff, and COVID have taught me, well, this pandemic have taught me to motivate, stay busy, and pick up lots of hobbies. Lots of hobbies. I'm telling you, I have stuff everywhere. Reading, and what I do, I stay positive. I keep positive outlook on everything. I like you said, it's a season, but the season have lasted a long time. For me, I just stay busy. I'm learning different recipes for being a vegan, a plant-based vegan at that. No meat products, no nothing for me. So, I'm learning different recipes and trying them out. And, my kids, oh, this is good. Oh, okay, yeah, I know it's good. And there's no meat. No, there's no meat in it. What is this? Why does it taste like chicken? Because it's not chicken. But I'm learning. Like I said, I picked up lots of hobbies. I've been going back and finishing some of the projects that I didn't finish. I stopped procrastinating because you can do that. But because I was still going to work, when I came home, I just don't sit down. I'm doing stuff. I'm creating.
Oh, you make earrings. Tell us about your jewelry.
Come on.
Oh.
Pandora Box of Jewels have been in existence since the mid-90s. I make everything by hand. I do everything by hand. I do wiring. What, a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, I started making waist beads. It's a spiritual thing for me. Each color had a symbol. Now I think my waist is full of waist beads. And then I noticed I started slimming down. They stay on, but they adjust to you. If I eat too much, it won't expand. So, and it's just, and I have a clothing line, Boom Life Clothing, which for me, it's on the back burner now since COVID because people like to shop, but they don't like to shop. Or they will try to Jew you down. Well, you my friend, and why I gotta pay this much? Because when you tell me your price, I pay it and keep moving.
Right.
I don't talk nobody down. So with Boom Life Clothing, I designed a shoe. It's made in Italy. It's not made in the United States. It's all leather. And oh, that's too much money. I said, but you go stand in line and pay for Jordans.
Yeah.
Come on.
Come on now.
I'm about to start calling her Auntie Quita.
Boom Life stands for is bulletproof love and Teflon loyalty. If I'm myself, how can I be loyal to anybody else? I'm gonna give you 100% of everything I've got.
Right.
So, like I said, I have so much going on, but I still have to go to work. So the line is just sitting. I'm still making clothes and I'm still doing things, but I'm not putting it out there to sell just yet. I have to wait till that time, to my season for that. So, like I said, I have a lot of other stuff going on. I'm trying to deal with the situation at hand because I still have to go to work. Like I said, and I have my catering business. I'm still doing that, and it's clean eating, and people love it. They love my juices. They love my drinks, But like I said, people like to shop, but they don't like to shop.
Yes.
They'll tell you their price, but then when you tell them your price, oh, that's a lot of money. Well, like I say all the time, well, sweetie, you don't have to shop here.
Yeah.
Go on, keep strolling because I know what I'm gonna do. And like I said, I never tell nobody when they tell me their price. I say, okay, pay. You want it, you buy it.
Right.
Everywhere you look, you don't have to shop. Like I tell a lot of people, you have to pay attention to who's in the room or who's in your circle, shall I say? Because some people that approach you can bring bad vibes, negative vibes, and some people that approach you could bring good vibes. So I pay attention to what's going on, who's speaking to me, because I don't everybody speak to me.
Yeah.
Because I have to stay uplifted on a daily basis. So pay attention to who comes in the room. And I'm not talking about the physical room. I'm talking about when they're talking to you.
I understand that 100%.
Yeah, exactly.
My favorite saying is inspect what you expect.
Yeah.
Because
I love it.
if you don't, people will give you anything. People will talk to you about anything. And I'll be sitting there like this.
Exactly.
Or sometimes people throw stuff at you to get something from you.
Exactly. And that's why I tell all my clients, create your boundaries. We create boundaries because boundaries are essential to your healing journey. And one thing that I tell them, people who don't have boundaries are addicted to being wounded.
Yeah. And people will try to break you.
Exactly.
Broken people will try to break you.
Yes.
They try to put their whatever they believe or whatever on you, and I don't let them in that space of mine. When like if I ask you, are you okay? And you start talking to me, that's between me and you. It's not gonna go nowhere else. But somebody asked me how I feel, and then I look over there, I said, oh, well, did you know what she just told me? I said, so that's why
Yeah, be careful.
Yeah.
That's why I said expect what you expect. So if I'm the same thing that I gave you, I'm not gonna do it.
Right.
I'm not gonna do it.
And that's why I love the connection we've made with you, Latoya, because sometimes we've been hurt by people that we thought we could trust so much in our life. You go to a professional, you go to a professional and you go to a coach where you know that it's going to remain between, you two, and that, you're there to do your job. You're there to help and to heal and not to gossip. Nika, we were talking the other day and it was something we were saying and I was like, girl, write that down.
Oh, I remember.
What was it? Because it kind of goes with
how you start out is how you hold out. Okay. I was told that since I can remember. And me and Toya were just talking, just talking like we're talking now in general. I think a lot of times we tolerate. We tolerate and tolerate. And we don't realize the more you tolerate in the beginning is what you're going to get at the end.
Right.
You can't change up in the middle and think that same person that you was tolerating is going to accept that change up.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So if you don't tolerate it from day one, then you don't get what you get at the end. That goes back to what you said, Latoya, boundaries. We got to set them boundaries and set them expectations.
Exactly.
Because if you don't, you can't be mad at what you get at the end. And you can't blame everybody else because you accepted it. You said okay. And whether you said okay or not, your actions said, I accept this.
Exactly.
Okay. And you can't, and this is another thing that me and Toya talked about. It comes to a point in our lives, we are adults. You gotta let it go, baby. You gotta let it go. You can't keep blaming mama at fucking at 40 years old. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I thought I was offline.
I love it. I love it.
You know what I'm saying? At 42, like, come on. Like,
it's time for you to take accountability. Like, when you know better, you do better. You choose not to do better.
Right.
You know, you can talk to people and you hear them talking and it's like, girl, I'm sorry. And then it's like, well, that happened to me 15 years ago. Like, 15 years ago still sound like it happened yesterday.
Exactly.
Yeah.
When are you going to make the decision to let go of the luggage? You know, when you come home from vacation, you don't take that luggage to bed with you. You drop.
Right.
Exactly. You got to clean that dirty laundry.
Right.
Exactly.
You might have to fold it and put it in a safe space, but you unload it.
You
don't
unload it. So you taking that into your everyday, and I tell my gyms all the time, I'm like, you have a choice.
Right.
You have a choice to either let it go, and it's just like Superman and Kryptonite.
Yeah.
You know, you can continue to hold on to that, and it's making you weaker every day that you hold on to it.
Oh my God.
To release it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if mama say don't touch that hot stove and you go touch the hot stove, that's on you.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
right.
We continue to hold on to things, even though it's bad for us. We continue to hold on to it, not realizing that it's making us weaker, not realizing that it's causing us more distress.
And it's holding you back. It's holding you back. Stop allowing someone to have power over you. Okay.
Exactly.
They may have had their own demons that they never addressed.
Exactly.
So own up to yours, address it, accept, acknowledge, and move on.
Exactly.
Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen overnight.
No, it's not.
We have a village. We right here tonight. We have a village of people. We could talk through these things. But I just feel like as adults, and especially we raising children, we can't keep holding our parents accountable for things. Because you know what? Let me tell you something. One thing I've learned, not everybody's meant to be a parent.
No.
Okay? So you got to understand that aspect of it and realize kids don't come with manuals.
No,
we are learning as we go.
Exactly.
You know,
you do the best you can.
Exactly.
What you got.
If you didn't have that foundation when you was growing up, you building it from scratch.
You get to create it now.
Hard because you don't have a tool book or a guide to help you.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? But you can't force someone to be to say they're sorry if they don't even know what they did wrong. You can't do that. So you got to let it go because it's going to consume your life.
Exactly.
You're going to be walking around blaming everybody else instead of just owning your part of it and move on.
Exactly.
You know? And don't keep on pressuring someone to come around. They will come around when they're ready. Not everybody's ready. Like you may be healing, that person may not be ready to heal, or they may never. They like living in that, dark place.
Exactly.
You know, because they like the attention. You know, I think I saw a thing on Instagram that says, like you said, broken people like to stay broken because they like attention.
Exactly.
Yeah. Right.
You know, and you have to see that, acknowledge it, and realize this is the type of person this person is. So I'm never going to get that from someone. Like I think Toya and I were saying this yesterday. We got to stop saying we need closure. I need closure from this person. No, you don't. You don't need closure. What you need to do is get peace within yourself, love yourself, and work on you. Because we got to stop relying on people to make us happy, relying on people to make things, happen or closure or no. There's no closure that needs to be had. It either went south or you had to withdraw yourself from that situation.
Exactly. And so that requires awareness because, there's a scripture that says you shall know the truth and the truth shall set you free. But people don't like the truth.
Yep. No, there you go.
Some people better they like the truth. So when you do talk to certain people, like for me, if I wasn't on with y'all, I wouldn't even be nowhere near social media. I cut it off at some point in time.
Yeah.
You know, for me, that's my social well-being, because
Right.
Yeah.
you need to know what's going on with everybody. Some things you don't need to know what's going on with everybody,
Yeah.
because
Exactly.
they do. Some people like seeing what's on social media, but you got to know what's real and
And was
Right.
what's
Yeah.
reality and what's not. See, for me, I live in my truth. And what I mean by that, I I am who I am. Whether you like me or not, I am who I am. I'm gonna be either your best friend or your worst enemy, but you will choose the outcome of that from me, because I don't change. I'm the same person you met yesterday,
Mm-hmm.
today. But
Yeah.
most people are not that way. They don't live in a truth. They want to glorify everything they doing. Like I said, I've been here in this chaotic city for a minute now, and it doesn't get better. But I have to make it better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So that's why I say I live in my truth.
Right.
But some people just don't know how, because you're so used to wearing a mask, and that's how I was. I
Mm.
was just so used to wearing a mask
Mm.
that I can pretend all day long,
Yeah.
Mhm.
and because I'm still this broken, unhealed person, and
Yeah.
all I know is to make you think that everything's okay, so that I don't portray the mistakes that I made or the insecurities that I have. And so I'm gonna put on this mask so you will know that I'm fine, I'm good, sis.
Mm.
But on the inside, I'm crumbling.
You crumbling. You crumbling. I'm
Like I said,
gonna bring up. I'm gonna go back to when we were talking about the ashes and the flower, the purple flower that you mentioned, and how I think it's so important for us to realize that we are wonderfully made to be who we are
Mm-hmm.
supposed to be, if that makes sense.
Yep.
Um, we have to realize that we have our purpose,
Mm-hmm.
and our purpose is important.
Yeah.
And even though you went through whatever, who did whatever, if you find your purpose and respect yourself enough, and to know that through all of the ashes and the burned down mountain, you're going to come up and be that beautiful flower.
Yeah.
You're going to inspire. You're going to motivate.
Yeah.
You're going to help. You're going to heal.
Yep.
You could be damaging relationships that you can be building such phenomenal things with, because
Mm-hmm.
you won't let go of other things that have gone on in your life, whether it's decisions,
Yeah.
whether it's how somebody made you feel. We all have a purpose, and we need to really, I think, if we didn't do it this year, I don't know. Hopefully next year y'all can find some time to do it. But if you couldn't take a week and really sit down with yourself and say, what am I here for? You know, um, I like to say a servant is a master in disguise. Who am I here? Who am I here to serve?
Mm-hmm.
Who am I here to help? Because if I continue to have a pity party and woe is me and talk about now,
exactly.
some days you may have to sit on that couch. Some days you may have to sit there. Some days you may have to be quiet. That doesn't necessarily mean you're having a pity party. You may
Right.
have to take some time to meditate. But you have to realize that you are that purple flower. No matter what has burned down around you, you still have a purpose in life.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
And there are still people out here that you are supposed to be helping.
Exactly.
You
Right.
know, and a lot of people. Another point I want to make is, don't always be the receiver. Don't always be the receiver. And I'm not even talking about finances. I'm not talking about money. I'm talking about, don't always feel like you have to be, I have to get this, or this person owes me. Find a way to give,
Right.
because when
Right.
you give, it opens a way for you to
See.
receive.
See,
you know.
It's not
So
feeling entitled, like like you're supposed to happen. It's not. No, people don't have to do these things for you.
right.
I think that's the problem too. It's like people feel like, well, I'm the one with the problem. Okay.
I'm here to listen. I'm here to walk you through it. I'm here to give you some advice, but you're not going to be that. I like to call them the vampire, the energy vampires.
Exactly.
Really suck the life out of you. And then that's when you go into making your boundaries and so on and so forth. And, to help you live your healthy life. We've been on this chat for about an hour and 20 minutes. I'm not going to keep y'all all night.
I have one more quote that I want to say before we go, because I believe that this is so true. And I think Shaniqua touched on it prior, but there's a quote by Dr. Miles Monroe, and he says, "You'll never change what you tolerate."
I like that one. Miles Monroe. I'm going to write that down.
Yeah. You'll never change what you tolerate.
Will never change what you tolerate.
Right, exactly.
And so I was like, I'm not tolerating the way I made myself feel any longer. So I had to do some things. I had to change some things up and, get real with myself.
Yeah.
Because the only way you can heal is by getting real.
Oh my gosh. I never thought that I would find myself doing womb healing. I had no idea what that would even consist of. I didn't know, because even as women, and I don't want to take this into another 30-minute tangent, but even as women, we aren't in tune. We're now being taught that it's okay to breastfeed. You know what I'm saying? Our boobies, it's like cover them up, hide them. We don't even say the word boobies like I said the word boobie. Your vagina, your private area, your tummy, the woman parts. How do you take care of them? How do you deal with healing in your whole person, your whole body? So I did womb healing, and talk about being real. Woo! That was some deep stuff right there, and it was phenomenal. So it's so many levels. It's mental, it's physical, it's emotional. It's on so many levels that we need to get real with in order to heal. And I just thank you guys so much for what you do. I thank Conquita for supporting us, even in her, in her darkest days this year. You have been a huge support for Mommas with Commas. I smile every time I see you, watch and share our stuff. Niqua, you've been just an amazing friend. I can call you for whatever. And Latoya, just to know that now we can, everybody that comes on, we're like, okay, how can we further this network?
Right.
And I would love to, learn exactly if you do one-on-ones, or if we can have some group sessions in the future, even if they're like super intimate and, we get in a closed group and we talk, or we meet somewhere whenever COVID is over and we do, like or even a 10-year retreat. Would be amazing to stay in touch with you. Yes. But one more time, because like I said, we could talk.
We definitely would need to do a part 2, because I think that this is a forever conversation, right? We definitely need to talk about this more, I think, in our culture. And I keep saying that because I feel like we need more this conversation in our culture. We need to support each other. We need to make people feel comfortable that it's not taboo, and address it as a whole. Because there's a lot of different sectors in this. It could be hereditary, it could be trauma, it could be like you said, losing a child. I mean, that in itself is something that you can't even touch. That's a whole different ball game there. So many different things that I just think that this is definitely a good conversation you know, and then as women, you know, just Toya touched on the womb here, healing and things of that nature, what that brings. I think as a whole also too, we are afraid to be who we really are.
Yeah.
We're
Right.
afraid to be, because we want acceptance so
Yep.
bad, and we feel like if people know who we are, we won't have people that will accept us for that, or they won't
Exactly.
love us for who we are.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And we are so afraid to be alone. We're afraid to say, listen, I'm in this lane and I'm gonna stay in this lane because this is me.
Yeah.
You know, we get afraid.
It's the truth.
Yes. And I had a coach when I first ventured on this business. I was like, well, how do you talk about something in business that's so taboo? And she was like, that's the whole point. It's taboo because nobody's talking about it.
Exactly. And we need to, I think that the more we talk about it, the more we make it okay.
Yes.
Okay, that more people will come forward and have these conversations, and we will be able to get to the root of the problem. Because to be honest, we all go through depression.
Yeah.
We all go through depression. We all go through different things in our life. You have depression after having a baby,
Yep.
all kinds of things. You know, some women say, well, I didn't really have depression and things that you may not have had depression, but you went through something.
Oh yeah.
Through your body's not feeling right, you're trying to get back right, you know, all of these different things.
Right.
You know, becoming a new mom, then you're a wife, or maybe not, maybe you're doing this all by yourself.
Exactly.
And you didn't have the support because people were just, you know, judgmental or whatever the case may be. A lot of that is mentally draining.
Yeah.
Exactly. Because when I had my daughter, no one had ever talked to me about postpartum depression.
Right.
And I knew that now I knew that I was depressed because when I had my daughter, mind you, she was like only 2 weeks old then. And I came home and my mom was here. My husband had went to Mississippi. We're originally from Mississippi. And so I was holding her, trying to, you know, just spend time with her, and she wouldn't stop crying. But when my mom held her, she stopped crying. And so in my unhealed, depressed mind, I ran out to the car and I told my husband, I was like, she doesn't love me.
Oh,
and he was like, what? He was like, what are you talking about? I was like, she doesn't love me. I said, every time I hold her, she cries. But when my mom hold her, she stops crying. But no one had ever told me that babies can feel the stress in your body. So for me to think at 2 weeks old, this baby who doesn't even know love, doesn't love me, excuse me, at the time, right now it seems bizarre, but at the time it was like, that was my truth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
It's okay.
It's okay. And that happens to me all the time. I'll be talking. I'm like, God, tell you my throat.
I know we'd be on the phone. We'd be going in. I'm like, we got to get some water, girl.
Yes.
No, take your time, Latoya. Take your time, girl. While she's catching up, I'm gonna share. We had a comment. One of our listeners, listeners, watchers. She mentioned the Queen of Food book.
Yes.
So I just wanted to show it to you guys. This book right here, Sacred Women.
Yes, I have it too. I have it. I love it. I love it.
I love it. Quita, you said you ordered it? You said you got? Yeah.
I ordered it.
So it's, you know, I ordered it and I was thinking, okay, I'm going to get this book. You know, it's about, you know, sacred women, and it gives me recipes, and, you know, I'm reading all the descriptions about the book. And when I got it, I opened it up and it was kind of like looking at the Bible. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, this is deep. Like, I'm going to need some help. I'm going to need some I'm going to need somebody to walk me through this thing. And I tell you, guys said, you know, he was just like, okay, that's what you need, Toya, and I'm just going to put it in your path. And this very amazing soul, her name is Omi. She just kind of popped up on my Instagram through a network of women in Queen of Foods network. And she held a free weekly class that kind of dissected the book and helped you go through the different gateways of healing. And It has just been absolutely phenomenal. Latoya, you okay, honey?
I'm okay.
Okay, good. I'll keep talking till she can breathe, till she good. But this book is an absolute gem.
It is.
It has so many keys. I mean, it's just like, I mean, I got like stuff hanging up. I'm like, I have like an altar. I have these things. And it's just another way of healing and coping and getting through life and remaining peaceful and remaining, in tune. Kanisha said, "You okay, cousin?" She like, "You good?" But she good. She got her water. She good to go.
I'm good, cousin.
Thank you so much. Yeah, she checking in. She like, wait a minute, hold on. But yeah, so I recommend this book.
I second.
Yeah.
Toya got me. I ordered it. She had it. I ordered it. My book looks just like hers as far as all of the tabs that I have. I have tons of tabs.
Mm-hmm.
It's definitely something I would say that. Yes, it's definitely something that you would dedicate some time to.
Yes, it takes time
for yourself,
mm-hmm.
and really, I'm telling you, really follow through certain things. Like even with the eating, like I started changing up. I got so excited. I shared a picture of this mayonnaise that I found. Vegan. And I'm like, yo, this thing tastes because I'm a mayonnaise person and I like cheese. I was like so hard. But when I taste that thing, I said, oh my God, I said, Toya, you got to try this.
Yes.
Substitution for mayonnaise.
Yes, she sent it to me.
Yes.
So good.
Isn't it? It is awesome. Listen, yes.
The grape seed. I like grape seed oil. Because I don't really like mayonnaise, but when I make my vegan sandwich, which consists of all vegetables, I put that on there.
Yes, that's how I make my sandwiches now. I even used it. I mean, I'm not totally vegan. It's gonna take me some time, but I even used it on tuna fish, and I said, "Oh my God, this thing is good." And I just there's certain things, when I don't go on a tangent because I know but when I broke out everywhere on my body, and no one could tell me what the heck was going on, I had to take a moment and get in tune with myself.
Right.
I needed to get in tune with my body. So I knew what was going on inside. You know what I'm saying? And that book definitely gets you in tune, not only mentally, but with your body, to the point where you're in tune with when women have their monthlies, to the point there's certain things that we do to our body to make it be so strenuous, to make us have the cramps, it's so many things that we really need to know about ourselves. You know what I'm saying? To heal, and it is a lot of the food that we eat. And I'm not trying to push veganism down people, because I'm not vegan, but I am trying to get away from the foods that are messing our bodies up. They are literally messing our bodies up, because they're processed.
Right.
And we just got to be more careful. We got to read labels and just, just try to make sure. And the book Sacred Women, it's definitely, I would recommend it. I mean, just
if you get the book, try to connect with a network. I know Queen of Food, she holds classes and you may have to pay for it, but it really helps you dissect and understand. And the cool thing about Omi is when she leads her class or, her sessions, she lets you know, she lets you feel comfortable knowing that you don't have to have that rule book, that you can kind of let it flow and introduce it into your life as you kind of are learning and flowing. Because I'm the type of person where I'm like, okay, this is what I got to do. I can't eat no more bacon. It's gonna make me die. All right, I gotta cut the bacon. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, no bacon. So with this book, it was so much. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't do all of this at one time. Like, I'm stressed out over here. But they, just introducing things as you go along, little by little,
Yep.
here and there. And it's almost like once, I know people just kind of use that term woke so loosely now.
I
But
know.
when you're awakened, when you're awoken, or when you come awoke to certain things, you're responsible. You're held responsible. And if you can't make that immediate change, just slowly introduce it and share it. That's the best we can do. It's a
Yeah.
few other books I want to share that I have that we mentioned today. We mentioned the love languages. So if you are listening or watching, and you have a little bit of a struggle communicating, this book right here will help you determine how you communicate and what's most meaningful to you. And another break the rule book. This is another break the rule book. What we thought we had to do, or the way that we thought we had to love, maybe we don't love that way, or maybe we don't accept love that way. And this book kind of breaks down different ways that energy is transferred.
And they also have it for the children. So
Yes,
you
they
can
have.
find out what your love language is for your child so you can communicate that.
Thank you so
That's
much.
why I love it.
Yes. So, I mean, a trip to the bookstore, Amazon, BarnesandNoble.com, get these books. They're amazing. And it's to be able to find the words to explain and then express is just like a gift. Another book I want to share is Milk and Honey by Rupi Kaur. She's getting ready to come up with a new book, but this book is a book of poems, and it goes through the hurting, the healing, the breaking, and the loving. And it's so deep, and they're just little short poems. And then the last one, I know y'all gonna like this one. Y'all probably get it. Is Dr. Sebi, My Journey with Dr. Sebi. So this is also another really good book. I thought I was gonna get this book, and I thought when I read it, it was gonna be like reading about, I don't know, a biblical, person, someone that's just very like the Pope, don't cuss, don't. This man was so real. And reading this book was such a pleasure, because I was like, dang, he was like so real. His journey was so amazing, and he was so real, but yet he was so dynamic in his teachings, and so influential. So those are my book shares. And they all came about from, things that you guys mentioned throughout the conversation tonight. So
I'm definitely going to go on Amazon. I do the listening. So
yes.
That's how I unwind, is I listen to the book, and then I know this might sound crazy, but I listen to the book, and then I have a notebook, and I write down and highlight key aspects of each subject or whatever, so that I can go back and reference to that. I'm definitely going to go and look on Amazon and see if I could find those auto books. I just finished reading a book. I don't know if you guys watch The View, but her name is Sunny Austin. Austin, I think she's on The View. And I just love her perspective. She's from the Bronx, like me. And she's mixed. She's half Black and half Puerto Rican, and so am I. And I related so much to her because she talked about adapting to an environment where you're not accepted on either side.
Yeah.
And being able to, not have to pick a side and be able to say no. If I'm going to talk, because she is a lawyer, and she also was on the, an anchor, and they would only want her to talk about one topic. Like, she couldn't just address African American and Hispanic. They wanted her to pick a lane, and she's like, I don't have to. That's the great thing about who I am. Stop trying to put me in a box.
Yeah.
And she talked about how cutthroat the media is for women, not only women, but the way we look. You have to have a certain look, and all of these different things. So that's the last book that I read. And so now Toya talked about these books, so that'll be my next reads. But if you guys are into, you could check it out. The book is on Amazon. And I'm a big View person. That's how I catch up on my current events, because I don't really watch the news a whole lot. So The View is something that I kind of trust the information that's flowing through, and I respect their point of views. They all have different point of views, and they all respect each other. They may have a little heated conversations, but they all come back at the end, and that's what I like. I feel like that's the best example to have. You can have a difference of opinion and still come together without being disrespectful, I feel. So
that's absolutely part of this cycle that we talked about tonight.
yes.
So thank you for making that point. Guys, we're gonna have to come back. It's season 3. This has been absolutely phenomenal. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for having
for
me.
taking the time tonight. We truly appreciate it.
Yeah.
We're gonna disconnect from you guys, and then we're gonna just take a few minutes to thank everyone that has been on the show so far. Because it's been so many people. It's just been an amazing ride.
Been a blessing.
Thank you so much.
I just wanted to say one more thing. Do you guys have any, just because I'd say this to all of our guests, is there something that you would like everyone to take away when it comes to mental awareness? And we'll start with Quita first. What would you like us, as a whole?
What I want everyone to take away from this and the mental illness and all that's been going on since the pandemic: social well-being, self-love, and self-care. And always inspect what you expect before you set any ground rules for anything. And live in your truth. If you don't do anything, live in your truth, because what people expect and what you expect is 2 different things.
Mm-hmm. Good. I love that. Thank you. Thank you. Latoya?
One thing that I want people to know about mental health and especially healing is that if you never think enough of yourself, you'll never take action. Know that you are worthy of healing. You're worthy of whatever the coping mechanism is for your mental health. You're worthy of that. So if you never think you're worthy, you'll never take action to start the process. But you're worthy. You deserve it. Your family deserves it. Most of all, you deserve it. So just know that it's available to you. Take advantage of it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We are going to share your website. We'll put it on our link tree for the next 30 days and promote that for you. I know you're going to change up your program going into next year. That number 8, that new beginnings, that build, destroy. And we're going to tune in. Hopefully we can be a part of it. It's in some capacity, even if we, host little mini small sessions with our listeners, but we'll remain a bridge and try to keep people connected to you. Thank you so much. Quita cousin, thank you so much. Thank you for coming on tonight. Thank you for your service.
I'm glad you was able to do this just to allow people to hear that it's okay to not be okay.
They are not alone.
Yes.
They are not alone. And these are 3 individuals. We can post a picture and, you never really understand the nitty gritty. And I'm sure we could get even more real than what we got tonight. We could really break it down some more. But everybody, we're real human beings, and you are not alone. We are here. And this is what this platform is for. So this is what we're doing. Thank you guys again so much.
Thank you.
Take care. Have a happy holiday.
Yes.
We'll stay in touch with you guys.
Yes.
Love you. Take care. Take care of your families. Take care of yourself. And we'll talk to you guys soon, okay?
All right.
Have a good night. Thank you. All right. Let me help get them. Perfect. Oh, that was beautiful.
Yes.
It was a good start, a good kickoff to that conversation. It's so many different little small
entities.
Like you said, we could have a part 3, we could have a part 4, part 5, but I'm glad we broke the ice and had Latoya on because you guys, you can call her as early as tomorrow and say, hey, I need some help. Tell me about your program so I can get started and release myself from some of this unnecessary baggage and learn some tricks and traits to keep it moving and try to stay positive.
Exactly.
I'm going to use my phone for shout outs. I said it's too much to write down, but we wanted to start back before we get off tonight. We wanted to start back with show number 1 and just kind of go through because this is our last chat of the year. And just give everybody a shout out and thank you for being a part of the quarantine Mommas with Commas edition.
Because listen, and I just say this quarantine was a good time to start. What do you call it? Manifesting, planting the seeds for it to flourish, because this is what came out of one of the things that came out of quarantine.
Absolutely. It really was. It really was. Because we were talking about JourneyRight was something that we talked about ever since 2014. And we kept wanting to do a retreat, but Nico and I live in 2 different states. And it was just so cool that we were able to put all the pieces of the puzzle together and at least start here to grow the mission and the purpose. So we're on chat number 16. We did have a couple of bonus chats along the way, but our very first chat was 6 months ago, and it was about finances. And we had Tamika and we had Kiva on the chat. Can you give us a little update about Miss Tamika? Anything new that she has going on?
Yeah. So Tamika's the name of her business is Budgeting for Financial Freedom. And basically she has different programs where she helps people budget, get out of debt. So if you're looking to, let's say you don't even know where to start. Let's say you got a lot of going on and you just need some direction. She's able to sit there and go over, everything with you, come up with a plan that you would commit to. And so this way you can see a outcome, whether you committed to this plan for 6 months, a year, whatever the case that may be. But she will help you sometimes you just need someone to sit there and kind of draw an outline for you on what to do, because you just don't know where to start. Right. So she helps you on that end. Also businesses. So if you have a business and you just need some guidance on the financial part of it, just the bookkeeping and what should you keep bookkeeping of and what should you do, what's a tax write-off and what's not a tax write-off, like all of those things when it comes to running your business on the finance end of it, that's her specialty. So the budgeting on a personal level, on a business level, coaching you on just how to save. Like some people just don't know how to save. Maybe they have they just can't stay out of the stores or off of Amazon. I don't know. Yep. And you just need somebody to hold you accountable. She is an accountable coach for the finance, most definitely. I know we still had on our link tree a link to go and join her program and things of that nature. It's definitely, I recommend it. I go to her a lot. Like I ask her a lot of questions. Like she's very knowledgeable. She's also a Delta. So if we have any Deltas watching us, help your fellow Delta. And she's a UVA grad. So, those 2 big things there. I know there's a lot of people, that support both of those organizations. So, very useful, very useful. Shout out to Tamika. Thank you so much. She's been on our show twice, actually. So finance is really big for me and Toya. We feel like it's fundamental to know, a lot of different things that we don't know normally, just to kind of keep us abreast on things so that we could continue to grow and continue to make money, because you can make it and lose it. So we want to be able to sustain that as well. So yay.
Yay, that is awesome. Yeah, so that show was about finance. So the other party was Kiva, Coach Kiva, who was also on our show 2 times. She helps you get your credit together, which kind of goes hand in hand with the budgeting. So you want to have a healthy
School.
credit. So she helps you kind of take care of things, just so much information, so much knowledge. Even if you just follow her, Nico and I was laughing because sometimes, when you get up in the morning, you reach for that phone and you open up that social media and you ain't supposed to. You're supposed to get up, go brush teeth. You're supposed to be meditating or something. But
Meditating
you
or
open up
something
that
for the week.
Facebook and it be Kiva and she be like, bam, she be
Yeah.
dropping jewels early in the morning, and I just find it so motivating. So definitely, if you need help getting your credit right, because we're gonna destroy the negative, we're gonna build the positive. If you ain't took care of your credit this year, in 2020, let's put that on the vision board
And I'm
for
putting
2021.
that Kiva.
Yes.
I don't want to piss nobody off, but I just have to say this. So she posted something, and I was like, "Yes, Kiva is on one this morning." It said, you have money to get a new body, but you don't even have money to get a house.
Yes, it's like, dude, come on now. So
There's something to that. Yeah, like you're gonna invest all this money on a new body, but you don't even own nothing. You have you don't own anything, or something you could call your own that you can actually, like, what are you gonna do? Sell your, unless you put insurance, like J-Lo, and put insurance on your leg, something happened to it, and then you get money. No, that's smart, but you still got to invest in something. So you got to start somewhere.
Yes. So we encourage you to invest in all of that. So shout out to both of those ladies who helped us kick off Mommas with Commas. And both of them, just about everybody is a mama.
Yes.
So keep that in mind. And just so that you guys know, Mommas with Commas, it has kind of like a twofold meaning. So of course, money, mama's making money. You know what I'm saying? We got to get our hustle on, but also commas in the sense of speaking knowledge and wisdom to one another. So speak, comma, speak, comma, keep it going. So mamas with so much to say and out there hustling and doing their thing to take care of themselves and their families. So that we definitely thank those ladies for helping us kick off the show. The next show was wellness, clean eating, meditation, and yoga. And we had Kim and Danny on for that show. So gosh, it's still kind of like vague, right? But Kim was on. She talked to us about clean eating, and Danny the yoga doc had come on, and we meditated together. And while we take this break over the next couple of months, we're gonna put these shows back into rotation, because this information, these shows, they don't expire. The information, it isn't like it's something that's going to go out of style. It's very much relevant. So even though it was chat number 2 and it was back 6 months ago, the information is still very relevant and can continue to help us. The next chat was hair and nails. We had Kim.
Yes, Kim.
And Ashley on.
Yes. Listen, I just have to say something. Kim, I'm going to just say something about Kim. I love Kim. Her business, it's called Kim Nailed Me. I love that. I love that slogan right there. Kim.nailed.me. So you can definitely go and pull that information up. She's awesome. First of all, she has a great spirit, great personality. She loves what she does. She's a jack of all trades. Yeah. Just tell her Mommas With Commas sent you. If you're in the Orlando area and you need to get your nails done, just tell her Mommas With Commas sent you. You'll get the special treatment.
Absolutely. Not only does she do nails, she also blings out things. Yes. If you got sneakers, she can bling them out, bling out your cups. But she is a mama extraordinaire. She has 4 girls that she is raising, and an amazing supportive husband as well. And we love them dearly. She actually partied with me, helped me bring in my 40s. I love them dearly. They are fam for life. I want to give a huge shout out to Ashley. Ashley is a young, up and coming. I call her up and coming superstar. She's absolutely gorgeous. I think right now she's living in Allentown, Pennsylvania. She just opened up her beauty shop. She does custom wigs. She does hair. She has her own line of hair and beauty products. She's just amazing. She's actually employing people right now. So big
That's
shout out
cool.
to Ashley. Our logo, our little cartoon logo, Mommas with Commas, is actually, we met the artist, the graphic artist, through Ashley. Two amazing women. And the girl that did the logo, she's actually a photographer as well, and just so
Talented.
talented,
Mm-hmm.
so talented. So we'll be sure to add her when we do our list of shout outs. We'll add her in as well. The next show was so cool because it was Mother's Day, our Mother's Day
Oh
show.
yeah, yeah,
So it
yeah.
was like our first like production. We had people coming and going.
Yes.
We thought, all right, well, you might gotta wait in the green room because we're gonna do this thing, and then she gonna sing, and then we gonna get her, and then you gonna sing. It was amazing, and we had Brittany and my cousin Nakia that sung. We
Mm-hmm.
honored a new mother, Sydney.
Sydney.
Yes, Sydney.
Yes.
My my godson's mama. And we also had Courtney on
Yes.
that. Yeah, she's a midwife,
Mm-hmm.
absolutely gorgeous. Y'all, she was featured. Why she was on the Shade Room? Like, I'm like, what
Yes.
is going on the Shade Room, y'all? But
Yes.
Courtney got engaged and took some amazing photos, and she was featured in the Black Love section in Shade Room Story one day, and that was so cool. But she's a midwife. She delivers out of Tampa, Florida. And she is just, you can follow her Instagram. She does like fun fact Friday, or, and we try to repost some of her stuff, but she helps, inform you birthing information. So
Mhm.
that show was fabulous.
Yes.
And then let's see, what did we do next? So shout out to all of those ladies. We love you guys. The next chat was Corinne Foster and our sweet girl. Oh my gosh, living with little.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what's going on with Corinne and Miss Living with Little right now?
So, well, Corinne, I know she has the name of her. I think it's a nonprofit. It's called Queendom, and her focus is she also works with mental health. So she is also a counselor and works with people with mental health issues and helping them get through that journey in their life, that time. And she also has this thing where she's trying to change the narrative, or not trying, but changing the narrative on what people always perceive of Black women. We're not, Black women are not aggressive. We do love, and we do get hurt, and, just different things of that nature. And I think, she's trying to change that narrative and set the tone, and show people, that we are human, that we love, and that we have things to offer, and, and things of that nature. So she's working on that. I know she's was on a couple of other podcasts as well. She's in the state of New York. So she's up in that area, and she works with a lot of different organizations and things of that nature. But you can follow her on Instagram. It's at Queendom. And we'll put that up there so that you guys can go and follow and see what she's doing. And then Living with Little,
Yes,
she's got a lot going on.
Yes.
Going on as well.
She has her cleaning business. I've been following her. I'm like, girl, you better go. She was very, very popular. You guys absolutely loved her. I think she was probably one of our rawest guests on the show. She laid it all on the table for us. And I had given myself the homework to listen to at least one of her podcasts before she came on with us. And I was just completely amazed. And just her story and the way that she kind of narrates, and her energy is just, oh my gosh, it's contagious. It is just,
It's better, like
fantastic. So we actually want to have her back on
soon. Maybe then
soon.
around, maybe have
Yeah.
one of our retreats, maybe.
Yes.
And
yes.
the awesome thing is her daughter's name is Journey.
Yeah, Journey. So it's so crazy because we have these revelations and these revealings when we have these chats. Like tonight, the number 8. It's like, dude, like whoever thought, but yeah. So those 2 ladies, shout out.
Yes.
Shout out. We love y'all. Keep pushing. Thank you for being on. Oh man, the next chat was number 6. This was probably one of the most life-changing chats for us. This was the safety chat where we had Cole on from Divas in Defense, and we had Miss Rhonda on from Girls on Fire. So we learned about self-defense, and we also learned about firearm safety.
Yes.
So you want to remind everybody about our trip? We've got even more details, and we're about ready to start taking deposits.
Yes. So we have a retreat
so that we can start locking in.
Yes. So we have planned a retreat with we're partnering with Divas in Defense, and it's going to be in April in Atlanta. And we're looking at the dates of April 9th, right? The April 9th through 11th. The April 9th through 11th. I'm sorry. But those are the dates. That's the month and the dates and the location. So we will be updating everyone. We had a lot of people inquire and send us their information. So we'll be sending out stuff to everyone, letting them know the information and what the cost is going to be. But it's going to be awesome.
It really is.
Yes.
It really is. Even though it's next year, we're still taking into consideration of, COVID-19 and those precautions. So we're going to hold the entire event in one centralized location. So if you do, join us, we're going to be in a centralized hotel. So if you do want to go out and about in Atlanta, you'll be nearby to be able to, do that sightsee and whatnot. But the actual event will take place in that one hotel. So you'll be able to sleep, pretty much eat. We'll take care of your lunch, and we'll take care of your drinks the night of kicks and cocktails. I'm so excited. And we'll have 2 sessions on that Saturday. So everything is going to take place. Just know it's going to be a one-stop shop. It's going to be so much fun, and I absolutely cannot wait. So when you get that information, letting you know the deadlines for the deposits, definitely meet those deadlines so that we can get this trip rocking and rolling. We are so excited. And that chat, I have to give those folks an extra special shout out because that chat contributed to me damn near being able to save my life and my family's life. We had an intruder in our home. And just having that information in the back of your head, those conversations and best practices was definitely something that I was able to lean on in the night of terror and danger. Something I never thought would happen to us. And I can't even believe I'm halfway smiling about the situation right now, but time heals all wounds and, you move forward. But yeah, so super big shout out to those people. We love you guys, Cole and Miss Rhonda. Thank you for what you do.
And shout out to Ms. Rhonda because her business has been booming with everything going on. She is a concealed weapons. She's a certified teacher to issue concealed weapon license, and I've been following her on Instagram, and she's had a tremendous growth of women, Black women.
Black women.
To say that, women of color, showing them how to defend themselves. Because one thing I will say, and people may or may not agree with me, I really don't care, is that we have to take ownership and defend ourselves. Okay, there's not many people defending us as women of color. Okay. I just have to say that there. And there's been too many occasions where women had to fight grown men, okay, to defend themselves. So the fact that, you know, we are taking ownership and being able to feel comfortable. I know some people are afraid of guns. You know, I was the same way until I realized, you know, I need to know how to defend myself in certain circumstances, because people out here are not playing. And I'm getting older and I'm not trying to be fighting all the time and things of that nature. And sometimes you can't, you know, you need to be able to sustain, especially in your home. And I'm glad we were able to have that conversation so that Toya, because Toya went through a serious situation in her home, where, you know, they were threatened, you know, and you know, violated. And that was something that was able to help her. And I thank God that everyone was safe and they were able to think things through, you know, and nothing crazy happened. Okay. Yes.
Yeah. So we'll leave that there. We'll be able to talk about that soon here. The next chat that we had was about investments. And that was a really cool chat because we had Rachel, and then that's when Tamika came back on.
Yes.
So we talked about Tamika, but Rachel, it's so funny because in the middle, and talk about creating. So she's of Jamaican descent, so she's has access to a lot of herbology and herbal living and natural lifestyle, plant-based living, plant-based eating. Yeah. And she's just well versed in sea moss. So she has literally created an entire sea moss brand and business out of quarantine. And I've ordered twice. Her sea moss is absolutely amazing. She infuses it with fruit. I've drank it. I've got the almond one. I've drank that in my coffee. It makes it creamy. It's so good. I've gotten I know Niqua's gotten it. The fruity ones. We've made smoothies. We've done margaritas. We've had lots of fun with her sea moss. So aside from sea moss, she has a couple of different other businesses that can help you with investments. So big shout out to Rachel and her husband, and thank you guys so much for what you do and for definitely, you know, taking the time to be on Mommas with Commas. The next chat meant so much to us. It was our conversation about the Universal Hip Hop Museum.
Yeah.
And it was just phenomenal. I'm trying to get in here and stop it from talking. Yeah, but Miss Renee was on with us. Oh, gosh. I think Renee. That was our longest chat.
I love Renee. I love her. Her just she's a wealth of information. She's one of those that you want to make sure that you have time to sit with her, spend time with her, go over things. She's like she's
so regal.
Yeah. It was just awesome. And the Universal Hip Hop Museum. Now, I just have to say this. Toya and I are super, super, super excited as if we came up with the idea. That's how excited we are. I just think that this is a dope situation for the culture. I don't think people understand. They're not going to see it until it's up, built, and then they're like, oh God, but
there it is. Yeah, but I mean, get in on it.
We think that the Rex for us, you know what I'm saying? Like, we have the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. When it's not, when I don't say we, but there is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame that some of our artists have been inducted in. But to have something show from the ground up what we as a culture created, because I remember at one time we couldn't listen to hip hop on the radio. We had to go and listen to underground mixtapes. We had to go get mixtapes to see what was hot. The DJs were the ones keeping it going. Yeah. And now you walk outside, everybody listens to it. All kinds of people. You're like, damn. So it's like to see this museum come up and build all of that from the ground up to show you the roots of it and show you the artists and things of that nature. I think it's a dope.
It's such an amazing project. It is.
Visit.
Yeah. So, you know, before all of this craziness, one of my New York trips, I actually made it a point to go to the Bronx and visit the pop-up. And at the time they were featuring the 70s, so the birth of hip hop. And I had a ball. I was even like, I'm there for life, y'all. Like I was able to tag on this stuff. Like it, y'all know I'm a hip hop head. So I was in heaven. I absolutely loved the experience. And I made sure I connected with the folks there and told them that I would spread the word and I'll be back and I'll love to stay connected with their full blown mission. Since that visit, like I said, they arranged to have Renee join us for our chat so we could spread the word about what the Hip Hop Museum is doing. But Renee just added so much more amazing information. Like it was such a great conversation.
Yes.
My son also attended a summer camp. It was a hip hop engineers camp over the summer. And Renee, you know, whenever they have anything going on, she'll hit me up in the DMs and she's like, hey, you know, this is what's going on. So we're staying in the loop of the Universal Hip Hop Museum and every and all that they, you know, that they share with us, we'll share with y'all. So if you true hip hop head, then, you know, definitely stay in tune with what they got going on. I think my biggest coolest point I want to make about the Hip Hop Museum is they're accepting artifacts. So if you have anything in the crates, so to speak, that you would like to donate to the museum, you can do that. So I will replug that information when we give our shout out. So big shout out to Renee, Miss Renee Foster. We love you so much. Thank you so much for being on the show.
They're selling tickets to their new pop-up. I'm hoping they're able to do it without, because it looks like we might have
it's kind of crazy.
But they're doing the 80s theme. So the next theme is the 80s theme, and they're selling tickets now for that pop-up. So it is in the Bronx. You know, that's where the museum's going to be, but they're going to keep doing these pop-ups until the museum is totally up and built in 2023, which Mommas With Commas will be there. Okay.
We'll be there with bells on. We're so excited. Okay. Like, I'll be at the front of the museum, like, hello, welcome. Go this way, go that way. Like I just love it. The next chat, we were supposed to have two guests on. One of our guests couldn't make it, so we had Jessica on. And Jessica, oh my God, it was Jessica, girl. So she shared her story. She is boss babe extraordinaire. She has two kids, and a Bailey, which is her niece, her cutie patootie niece, and a Rosie, her grandmother. I mean, you gotta follow Jessica. She's amazing. But she actually recently opened her school, y'all, like a whole school. And during quarantine, she began a teen program. So now not only does she educate adults, she educates teens in different beauty services. So big shout out to my homie, Jessica in Tampa. You are Clubber.com. And thank you for being on Mommas With Commas. We love you.
And if you're in Tampa, go check her out. Check her out.
She does lashes. That's her thing. Like she does individual, amazing lash art. So go check her out. She is fabulous. You got to book her. You got to book your appointment though. She just lets y'all know. Don't be waiting till the last minute, messing up her holidays. You booked the appointment. So I was rolling. She's hilarious. I love her so much. And then we did a Father's Day chat, which was different for us because we normally have women on the show.
Right.
Every now and then we've sprinkled a couple of guys in here and there. We love them dearly, but we hosted an all men's show to honor them for Father's Day.
To give some, honor the fathers, because I think around that time is when we were really discussing how Black men were being treated, because being hunted and killed like dogs. And so we wanted, it was a really touching, to get their outlook on what they're going through and what they feel.
Yeah, and all of them are from different areas of the country, and all of them had a bond of similar experiences. So it was Very, very interesting to talk with them. So big shout out to my brother Tommy, my man Terry that was on the show, Nook, who is Kim's husband, and Nikwa's cousin.
Norman.
Tell us about Norman. Norman had some big things happen in the past.
Norman, let me just tell you, Norman is awesome. Like, Norman just retired from the Port Authority in New York, in Jersey, or New York, Jersey area. And what he did right before he, finally retired, one of his projects was the George Washington Bridge, because he worked in labor and relations for the Port Authority. So the George Washington Bridge was like under his authority. So he actually climbed. I put this on our page. He climbed to the top of the George Washington Bridge and took a picture. Okay. And that was, I know for him, it was a full circle moment because he was a 9/11 survivor. He was actually in one of the buildings before it collapsed. Like, that's where the Port Authority was. They worked in those buildings. And he touched on this on the chat, but what happened was, a lot of people he lost, and him and his boss told him, we're getting out of here. We're not staying in here. They were telling him to stay in and be calm, and him and his boss left. Like, they went down. I think he was on like the 30-something floor, and they literally ran down all those stairs, right? And when they left, when they finally got out the building, I mean, like, literally got out the building fell. And all he could envision was all the people that he was leaving when he was going down the stairs, because they're going up, like firefighters, police officers, paramedics. They're like, stay calm. They were trying to do the best that they could with what they had. They were not expecting that to take place. So that, so just saying that brought him in full circle, that he was able to come out of that. He's been able to work through those issues and help others. He got ordained. So he mentors and helps others. He produces music. He's a FAMU graduate, and he went in for music. And so, he worked with like a lot of old school artists. And he named a whole bunch. I don't know, Heavy D was one of them. He did a lot of different things that I didn't even know. And he wrote for a couple of people and things of that nature. So that's where his heart was. So now that he's retired, that's what he'll be doing. We actually posted one of his on our link tree, one of his songs he did. That it's called America Don't Like Black. That song, I love that song. Like, I told him, he put his foot in that, So, he's just awesome. He just has his hand in different things. He's retired now, so he has more time on his hands to really dedicate more time to his music. He also has a play that was on Broadway that he created the music or something, and it's and they've been touring before COVID. They were touring, and they were out in Cali, and I mean, it got so much notoriety because it's a group of them. It's not just him or whatever. But they had to, after COVID, they had to kind of shut that down. So with the travel,
he has so much going on. He was another really popular guest. People just absolutely fell in love with Norman. So we want to give so much love to all of our guys. And Nikwa's man would have been on there too. He had to work, so we want to definitely just show him some love. Yes. It was a good time, that chat. So in addition to those guys, we also had DJ Hydro open us up. He did a mix to open that show up, and
that was awesome.
He blended Killer Mike's speech. He mixed it down, so he did a live session and opened our show up with that mix down. So if you haven't caught that chat, definitely go back and watch that one. That one was
that guy. Who was the guy from Jacksonville that got signed to that actually got signed, and Dr. Dre was working with him? He mixed his voice in there.
Yes. So it was
I can't remember.
I think it's a young boy.
Yeah, I can't
And
remember.
gosh, I don't know why I can't think of it. He lives in my neighborhood, girl. He was at their football game, and we didn't want to like fan girl over him, but he was at the getting French fries and stuff. But that voice,
That boy,
oh my God.
chills.
I just want to live. I just want to live, So he mixed all that down, and gosh, we'll make mention and of that young gentleman's name. But yeah, he lives in my neighborhood. Stars are born every day.
Yes.
What's the name of the little kid that made this song that live out here that sing that it went real big? The song, I just want to live. You know who I'm talking about? We gonna figure it out and let y'all know because I can't think of the name right now. I don't know. We'll figure it out and let y'all know. The next chat was our mission to get everybody to vote. Vote.
Yes.
So we had some cool folks on. We were able to have Christopher Clark on, who is an amazing artist out of Jacksonville, Florida. We had Brad Waldron, who is from New York City, who's a poet, just an amazing all around, just phenomenal person. And Amy Wentz closed our show out that night, who was running for a seat in Richmond, Virginia, the 8th district.
There goes the number 8 again.
Amy and the 8. Yes.
Amy and the 8. And I was going to mention that when we were talking, but then I was like, oh, wait, don't wait till the end. But yeah, Amy and the 8th, that was her thing. She, unfortunately, she did not win, but we still support everything that, because she still lives in the community. She still does things for the community.
It was a close race, y'all. It was a close race. The lady that is in the seat was in the seat when I was 18.
Yes.
And lived in that area. And, I'm not going to talk a whole bunch of trash about the 8th district, but I was up there last year. We went to the hip hop Nutcracker. So we drove through that part of town, and it did not change. It looked worse. So it definitely needs someone to come in that cares.
Yeah.
So
and it needs someone who's in, and this goes back to what Toy and I've been saying. We have to start at the local level. We gotta start at the local level. And now that I'm saying this, shout out to Stacey Abrams in Georgia, because Stacey Abrams, if you didn't learn anything else, there's 2 things out of this election. One, it should teach you that they don't give a damn. Oh, they don't care about us. Okay, they don't give a fuck. They don't care about us. And the second thing is, she basically showed you what to do. Like, she said, okay, you know what? This is my vision. And it's not even my vision. This is what I see, and this is what I'm going to do. And she worked diligently, to make what happened in Georgia happen. Yeah. So I don't want to hear that, oh no, your vote doesn't count. It does. That's why they don't want you to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? It does. We have to come together collectively. And the one thing that they keep saying over and over again is that the Black women held it down.
Yeah.
For this election. Okay.
They did.
The Hispanic women also.
Yes.
I know
Native
American women. You know what I'm saying? It's just amazing. And Stacey Abrams showed that example. So going back to Virginia, Virginia, we have been, what makes us blue, and I'm gonna be 100. It's what makes us blue is Fairfax County, which is in Northern Virginia.
Yeah,
that's who made this state blue. So unfortunately, in the central area where we're located, where Amy is located in the 8th district, is that there's a lot of people who don't want change. And there's a lot of people that really need to exit and let progression happen and fresh eyes. What happened in the 70s is not going to work in 2020. What happened in the 60s is not going to work in 2020. We got to get new people with fresh eyes who knows progression. to move things forward. People want to be stuck in a certain area and they don't want things to move forward. So that's what I see is happening here. But I feel Amy is definitely going to be successful, within what she's trying to accomplish. And, I'm hoping that Central Virginia will get on board and progressively move forward like everywhere else because if you look at Virginia Beach and Northern Virginia, fine. You get to the middle and it's just, I don't know what it is. It just doesn't, it's not progressive. It doesn't move. Now going back to Georgia, mom just made a comment. The 2 Senate seats. We need those 2 Senate seats. So if you're in Georgia and you watching, listen, we need you. You pulled through for us. We need you to pull through for us again one more time in January 5th.
Yes.
We got to get them in there.
And hold them accountable. Once we get them in, hold them accountable. Don't just say, okay, I got them in. Okay, now back to watching Power, stay in tune, stay connected, and continue to push change forward, in the areas where change needs to take place.
Don't be afraid of change. Don't be
Nova, Central VA in the Hampton area. We love y'all. We love you guys so much. And the same for here in Florida. We're the Blue Islands now. I think we're like disconnecting from the name Florida. We're the Blue Islands. So you got Jacksonville, Orlando, Tampa, and the Miami-Dade area.
Which I'm surprised Miami turned blue. But I'm going to tell you why. Because a lot of those Republicans down in the Miami area are not happy with the current administration. Because I used to live in South Florida, and a lot of that community are Republicans. Okay, but that should tell you something. Okay, they're going against their own party because they're not agreeing to the hatred that is going on right now.
Right. Because a lot of immigrants from Cuba, they've already experienced that, and they ran away from it, so to speak, started a new life here, and they like, I ain't going through this mess again. This reminded me, this look all too familiar. So shout out to the Miami-Dade people for holding down democracy. I was reading from my phone. I'm like, where was I reading everything from? Y'all, we got so many chats. This could take me all night. So I'm just going to quickly run through. I want to give a shout out to the Bandages crew, who was on that was about like the summer product haul, Black owned businesses. So we featured my cousin, let me see here, and Hussein, who I'm trying to think of his juices.
It was we had the ginger. It was a ginger juice. I know.
Oh, the ginger juice. It was
so, the non-sugar and then the real sugar.
Yes, it was so good. So we had them on. And then my cousin Marlena was on with her beauty. She has a beauty empire. So she has the bundles, she does the hair, she does the skincare, and she does the makeup. And she just launched it. She's relaunching as a whole like brand. So big shout out to those Black owned businesses that's doing their thing. That was a fantastic show, and we will definitely get them shouted out. And then we had Danny back on, which was such a treat. Danny, the yoga doc, she is so sweet. Not only did she do a second chat, but she held a private yoga session for some of our Mommas With Commas, some of our listeners. We treated to a virtual yoga session. That was amazing.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, Danny. We had Tisha. You want to tell us about Tisha, because she wasn't able to. Okay.
So Tisha, she was in the process of moving from Richmond, Virginia to Arizona. So she's in Arizona full time now. She was like back and forth, and so she was having some technical difficulty with us, but she's awesome. I'm gonna try to get her. She's busy. We was trying to get her on this time, but she was traveling. So we're gonna try to get her on in season 3. But her information is on Instagram. It's the Mindset Slayer.
Mm.
And she's basically same spiritual healing. She does do readings, so if you're interested, hit her up. She'll definitely, and she's awesome. The way she works is she feeds off of, she sits there and, reads off of your energy. So whatever it is that you're trying to find, that you would like to know, or whatever the case may be. She also does counseling, helping people, through traumatic situations, such as a traumatic childhood, being able to kind of heal through that and go through that. And she kind of does that in a spiritual healing way and shows you how to go about that in a spiritual way, and kind of explains to you and different things like that. So she's definitely has a lot of that. So like I said, you can go on there. She also has a network.
She has a network and a podcast.
And a podcast. I think the podcast is, I think it's See Your Soul or something. Seeing with Your Soul. That's her podcast. And you can go onto Instagram, pull the information up. She puts, like we do, little clips on her Instagram, and kind of talks about, puts what she talked about on that podcast. And then you can go to the link and listen to her podcast. Her podcast is on Apple. So you can go on the Apple and just pull up, and it's called Singing with Your Soul is the name of the podcast. And then she also is starting up it's called, I think it's Mommy, Care for Mommy. Okay. She just started this. We were just kind of talking a little bit because of we'll bring that up, one of the chats that we had about birthing centers and different things of that nature, that there's really nothing out there to help you get through, after you have the baby, or even before, like to prepare you mentally, physically, and then afterwards, and different things. So, be on the lookout for that. You can find her on Instagram with that. It's called Care for Mommy, and she has her link there. And it's aimed to provide physical and emotional care to mothers. Know you're not alone. Taking care of you just as important as taking care for your child. So those are the things she's got going on. So some awesome things.
So much awesomeness.
Yes.
So that's what I'm saying, y'all. It don't matter what somebody did to you. Your purpose.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? The people that you can touch, the people that you can service, the inspiration that you can be, it's unlimited.
Yes.
Don't block your blessing. Learn how to heal. Let's do this.
Yeah.
The name of the ginger drink is Ginger to Remember, by the way. I had to go back and look.
To remember. Okay.
Yeah. So then the next chat we did was very, very emotional. For me, I know I was stuttering through it. It was very rough, but it was an awareness to healthy pregnancy, healthy birth. And we had the young ladies on from the Save a Rose Foundation.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked with us about their friend, Amber Rose, who was probably the most healthiest person that you ever would know, was very aware of herself, her body, in tune with her surroundings, was even aware of some of the issues that was going on, with birthing issues in her community, and still fell victim to mistreatment. Lack of care, and passed away after a C-section. So we want to send so much love to them. Amazing things have happened even since we talked to them, and that was in October. We talked to them on October the 8th. And I know for a fact here in Florida, the Medicaid system added doula services to the Medicaid network. So if you have Medicaid, now you're able to have doula services, to support your pregnancy. And I know that they're still fighting in New York, in the Bronx. We noticed after having so many shows, it's like we're super connected to the Bronx. Nico's from the Bronx. My dad's from the Bronx. So the roots run deep there, and we just stand behind those ladies. They were so intelligent,
very,
and spoke so well. we just send them so much light and love, and we're going to continue to support them and their mission.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. After that, we did the Mommas with Commas, the financial success. We had Kiva on again. So that was really good. She came up. That was a good show. She
Yes.
dropped some gems. That was our last chat. And then that brings us right up to tonight. So, I
Yay.
mean, y'all. Yeah.
I want to pet, and I'm gonna pet you from afar. Because, you know, because I want to say, I'm just going to say this in my closing, is that don't ever doubt. Sometimes we get in our own way. And I think that, I'm so glad that Toya and I took this journey together and decided to push forward with it, because when I tell you, we had obstacles. We had obstacles left and right, schedules, things going on in our life, outside, family, all kinds of things that tried to deter us from moving forward. There were times where we was going to give up and say, well, oh, well, we tried, what I'm saying? And, but we didn't, and we kept pushing forward. And I just want to thank everyone who supported us. I want to thank all the people who reached out, because sometimes you don't realize that, your kind words and the messages you send us definitely gives us motivation to push forward. We've gotten so many people that say, we love your show. It's really good. We love doing, we love your platform. There's no platform like what you guys have and what you're creating and things of that nature. And I just want to say, we really, really appreciate it. We love you guys, because with those positive energy, we got a lot of negative energy. And I want to address the negative energy. We had a lot of people who talk negative to the point where, oh, why are you doing a podcast? Why are you doing it that way? Or we have people who are watching because we can see, and they don't support at all. It only takes 2 seconds to share a post, you know what I mean? But we've been there for those folks, and now, it's just kind of like, so it's true what they say.
Let me unmute my mic. I got a house full of boys that says I'm like, let me mute, but no, let me unmute myself, y'all. Come on now.
Yes,
it's free. I hate to be that, it's free, just share it for me. But y'all, that's how we grow. We are a podcast. We do not get paid for doing this. This is not something that is going to turn into some. I mean, it could potentially, I guess, but I mean, we're just bringing the information. We're just creating the network of people, and all we're asking is for you guys to share the information, because the more people we touch, the more the show can grow, in the long run, and the more of the messages can be spread. And the people that we bring on the show, we can spread their businesses, their services. Like tonight, Miss Latoya, if you share the show, maybe you hunky-dory fine, you ain't got to worry or care in the world. But if you share it on your page, maybe somebody is hurting. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they just lost somebody. Maybe they, COVID has just completely destroyed them. They don't have anybody to talk to, and they come across this chat and they see Miss Latoya and they call, they call her and they connect with her.
So businesses,
yes,
businesses,
So that's why we ask for you guys to share the information so that we can grow, as a network. So thank you, Nico, for bringing up that point.
Yeah,
we ain't gonna harp on it, but we just want to.
I just wanted to acknowledge both sides. And just just bring it to the forefront. And other people who may be feeling that way, don't give up. Don't, even if I know you guys heard this, but even if you get 3 likes, it stay consistent and it will grow. One thing Toya and I have found is that we have developed friendships, new friendships.
Yes.
To where we're growing outward with each other. And if that means that certain people that we rocked with before are not really going with us in this direction, that's okay. It's just not meant for us to go all together in this, because we're on different paths and we're meeting people who are on that level with us, and we're growing together. So I just wanted to bring that up, that, you know, we went through those same challenges. We still kind of, because we have other businesses outside of what we're doing. You know, I just want to shout out Toya. She's got Art Farm collectibles. That's dope. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, let me tell you some art forms. I'm getting ready to have a show, guys, so I have everything all packaged up.
That's
But
dope.
yeah.
Please follow and support. And Christmas is coming up. Great Christmas gifts.
Instead of a card, give art. So the idea of it is, instead of giving a flimsy card that's going to fall over in a couple of days, send them a piece of art that they can have forever on their desk. This is so motivational. Get money. It's literally little pieces of money that I like put on here for your favorite boss babe, stuff for mommies. This one is so cute. Thank you, Nico, for giving me a shout out, because now I'm gonna go ahead and run with this.
Yes, with the little
So the art farm. And then, you know, JourneyRight is our sister company. So JourneyRight is built on the network of built on networking and wellness. So we have some products that we have that will be coming out soon. This is a intimate body wash. You know what I'm saying? Intimate body wash. And essential oils. So this is a mint. Again, I have a show coming up, so everything is like holiday themed. But we're going to Nico has some products too. We're gonna kind of come together again on that level, and have a little shop for you guys to support us, you know.
Yes.
Support us on that. Yeah. So that's, and then let's talk about you. Let's give Desirable Trends a shout out.
Well, Desirable, I had started Desirable Trends. People that know me know that I am a entertainment junkie. Okay. Yeah. To say I know everything about everything. Okay. And I'll be like, girl, did you do that? And they'd be like, girl, oh my God. So that's why I built Desirable Trends. And I also did that to kind of build a network of people, kind of like, you know, what we were talking about, and more like a marketing just to advertise and help other businesses grow and things of that nature. And with that, I built, I started a consulting firm, which is staffing, which that was my full-time job, but I started to branch out to do something on my own. I work with companies to help staff. So anything HR wise, development and training wise, you know, I partner with them. It's called Desirable Consultants. You can find me on Instagram. You know, if you need any help, let me know, hit me up.
Resume building, if you're interviewing tips, if you need a job.
I'm getting ready to post a lot of different jobs that, you know, that are coming up. You know, I know there's a lot of people that are unemployed right now. You know, just let me know. Even if you see something that I don't have, but you're interested in something, hit me up. I can market you to clients that I talk to. With your resume, they may not even have, you know, be looking, but you never know. I could send you a resume, hit them up, and they can tell me, hey, you know, actually, I was going to be looking for this or that or whatever. So, you know, just let me know, and I'll be able to help you. And then Desirable Trends, I have, along with the marketing, I have the travel business. So I am, you know, travel business. It's going to be called Trendy Travel. Under Desirable Trends. And so all of this is under Desirable Consultants. But if you need someone to help you plan your honeymoon, girls trip, bachelorette party, bachelor party, you want to have a destination wedding, you just want to travel, you just want to go and have fun, go overseas, do whatever, go to the islands, hit me up. I'll be able to coordinate all of that with you as well. So we have a lot of things that we're working on individually as well as together, but we always come together with our stuff anyway. So
yes, we do. Like Trendy Travel is coordinating the JourneyRight trip to Atlanta. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how we do over here. So thank you so much, Nico, for everything. Is that B?
Yes, I have to let her make a debut because her older sister.
Come on, girl. Come on, girl. Come let everybody know.
This is Bianca. Say hello. Oh, now she wants to
Don't
be
get
shy.
shy now. Don't get shy now.
So
You
she
want Mommas with Commas.
she wants to have a YouTube channel so bad, guys. So I'm gonna have to break down and try to figure something out and get this YouTube. Her and Maddie's supposed to have this thing together, girl. So we gotta figure it out because they both are made for TV. Okay.
Made for TV. Made for TV. 2021. Here we come. Here we come.
Okay.
So good stuff. Bianca, thanks for making a debut. We love you. She's so cute. And just as before we sign off, if you're in Jacksonville and you need to get your face right.
Yes. I forgot. Yes. So let me tell you something. So she doesn't give herself enough credit. But let me tell you something. Toya is dope esthetician. Okay. And let's kind of break it down. All these people, like Jessica, she trained Jessica. Jessica loves her. She's like, if you talk to Jessica, she'd be like, that is my mentor. She pushed me to do this and da da da. So she is a master in her craft. So if you in Jacksonville and you want to get a facial, baby, go ahead and get your facial. Your face will be feeling like a fresh skin. I don't know.
Yes. So I am in the process right now of moving in. We're in the middle of a tropical storm, which we mentioned at the start of the show, but I'm in the process of moving into a very small space. I'm doing it super part-time, almost just like a special appointment only. So if you are interested in getting your face laid, I have my the newest thing, like my signature is going to be a meditation facial. So I'm going to incorporate meditation into the facial. It is going to be so dope. Like when you leave, you might be slobbing and sleep, but your skin's going to be amazing. And we'll go through some deep breathing techniques and some meditation during your facial. We also do hydrofacial. We do peels, the perfect peel. Just every treatment, every service. It's a small office that I'm going to join definitely for the next 3 months, and we'll see how it goes and fits into the schedule. I'll do it super part-time, but the booking should be up next week, so you guys can go ahead and book
because
and come in for your face.
Coming up. Great Christmas present. Valentine's Day is coming up. You know, I know it's here, but I'm just saying, if you're a planner like me and Toya, and you plan ahead or whatever, go ahead and get the facial. Set it up for birthday, Christmas coming up. Like I said, Valentine's Day. Hey, happy freaking New Year facial. You want to get a new year, new face, Hey,
I'll hook you up. So just wanted to kind of slide that out there. I'll be talking about it more in the coming weeks. So yes, this was like a 3-hour chat. We love y'all. We wanted to wrap it up and make sure we shout out everybody.
Yeah, well, we wanted to let you guys know that we appreciate all the support and just kind of let you know what we're working on. And for 2021, we're looking at, continue to build. We probably won't, just to give everyone a heads up, probably won't have a lot of live shows like we did the first 2 seasons, just because, we're building and we're growing and things are happening, and we're going to have college kids playing ball and all kinds of things going on.
Yes, it's going to be a very busy spring for us.
Yes, we have graduations. We got a lot of things going on. So we're going to start taping the shows, but we will still have live shows here and there,
Yeah. I know y'all like it. I know y'all love coming on and being on live with us, and I love that. But it's a lot of information, and it's still a lot of people in the pipeline that we have that we want to get on as guests. And if we can tape the shows in advance when everybody's schedule matches up and just post it that way, then we'll do it that way. But we got a lot of cool things coming up and planned for 2021. So thank you guys so much. We want to remind you that we are on YouTube. So make sure, if you have not done it yet, you go and like this episode and subscribe to our channel. And we're also on Spotify. So if you are a Spotify subscriber, make sure you have Mommas with Commas in your playlist. And stay tuned for the new wellness shop coming soon.
Yay!
That shit. We're gonna go live on like Facebook or Instagram for the holiday. We have a fun trip planned with our families, so we'll bring that excitement to you guys. And other than that, y'all, we signing off unless something crazy happened and we got to bust on here and do a bonus check because you know how we do. We will see you guys in 2021. We
Yes.
love you.
Love
Thank you
you.
so much for supporting us and tuning in. And y'all take care. Y'all have a happy, happy holiday.
Yes.
Love you. Mwah.